Tired of waiting. What is up, good people? It is your boy Rashawn. Now listen, my internet has been acting a plumb fool for the last week. So I have no idea how the stream is gonna go. I do appreciate anybody that is here coming in, watching the replay. Appreciate all of y'all to watch the replays. Um, I know the one I did on oop, did not change the background. Slacking. But did not change the background. That's done. Cool. Let me go back up to the top. Cool. So today we are definitely talking about Orange Man Bad. We are talking about the orangutan, the orangutan, and his running mate, the snake. Now listen, again, no idea if my internet is going to hold up. My internet is being sus for about a complete week. Um, I could not also stream the videos. I'm going to have to stream the videos, so my internet is really going to be choppy. I could not chop them up. I could not cut them. Couldn't clip them the way I wanted to. Let me see. Dorit, good day to you, my Canadian fellow. Good day to you. Good day, mate. Hey, but listen, I use a service called Streamable, and it helps me clip the video. I can get timestamps, and I can cut specific portions out of videos, and it just makes edit. I do everything on my phone mostly. The software for computers, I can't really edit with those for whatever reason. It just doesn't work. I just haven't found one that is fluid. The one I have on my phone works fine, but of course, moving files back and forth from your phone through the cloud to it gets a little cumbersome for me. I'm a struggle streamer for real. So because that service, YouTube changed some settings. And now if I don't know if you've tried to copy and paste any links from YouTube, they're all coming through really long, and that messed up Streamable. Can't do any of the stuff I normally do with Streamable. Yep, I do everything on my phone, and then I migrated to the computer through the cloud. Like I uploaded through the cloud, either using the iServices, but StreamYard, which I'm using for the broadcast, that has like file size limits. So I typically have to find a go between like Streamable or something else to bring the file size down to upload it into Streamable. So I have a really cumbersome process. Man, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. And that got disrupted when YouTube changed some settings. So I'm going to have to actually stream every video with the timestamps that I have. So I'm going to have to stream that. So my internet may really be blotchy. So just be prepared. If it's really bad, I may just have to table this whole idea until Streamable fixes whatever they're doing, or I find a new source to clip videos down in, one or the other. Man, I'll just drop the link and we can chop it up or whatnot, or we'll pivot and do it another day. IG in the building, heading into the plantation. What's up, IG? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you stopping through. Please let me know when you're free so we can reschedule that conversation. Let me know. I still got that on the books. I want to shout out to Sim Simma, man. Appreciate the donation, man. Keeping the lights on. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. And I was going to have JD Vance and Donald Trump at the beginning of the Kamala Harris video, but they just kept saying stupid stuff. So they needed their own video. So shout out to Von Eric for the video suggestion, the topic suggestion. I wanted to follow that up. And they just kept saying stuff. It's been a really interesting election cycle. We've got some really big idiots on the ticket. Tim Walz, the running mate for Kamala Harris? He's probably the best politician out of the four. But boy, we got a crop here, boy. Man, but I just had too much. I got too much. There's a whole bunch of stuff I'm leaving out. There's no way to cover everything that's being said, everything that people are saying that they're doing, everything that they're not doing. It's impossible. The press is doing a terrible job of covering it all, sorting through the lies and the facts. They're putting out lying ads. It's crazy. It's crazy that these are the people that we have to sort through, to choose from. It's embarrassing. So I'm going to start with a few things. Because I was watching something, and the guy talked about the difference between you got rumors, reports, and reality. I can't even remember what I was watching, but I liked it. We got rumors, reports, and reality. But let me pull up this first video because that's what we're dealing with. That's what this election is coming down to: rumors, reports, and reality. And we may never really know what the reality is, which sucks. But of course, anybody that's a good conspiracy theorist knows George Orwell. George Orwell is like a god for conspiracy people. 1984 talked about, like dystopian futures. Everybody loves him. But I want to share, let's bring this in here. Boom. What is it? Where we at? Where we at? About 45 seconds of this real quick. Mainstream is exposing themselves. It's bad. It's bad. And there's a video I kind of want to react to. It's talking about the news of the 1950s and 60s, like the Walter Cronkite era, and how they actually had social responsibility as an ethic and a value. It was kind of loosely enforced through the FECS, Federal Communications Commission, FCC, the FCC. But people have values, and they took losses. They took financial losses to actually report quality news and to report the news unbiased. Of course, people are biased, but they didn't bring their bias to the conversation. So I don't like where we are. We can do better because we used to do better, but we've degraded quite a bit. And I kind of want to react to that, but I kind of don't. I haven't really wanted to be on stream. Y'all see the content falling off. Y'all see I ain't been here. I ain't been feeling it. But we're gonna get through this. We's gonna get through this.
In the coverage and portrayal of the war. Years later, he wrote, "Early in life, I had noticed that no event is ever correctly reported in a newspaper. But in Spain, for the first time, I saw newspaper reports which did not bear any relation to the facts, not even the relationship which is implied in an ordinary lie. I saw great battles reported where there had been no fighting, and complete silence where hundreds of men had been killed. I saw troops who had fought bravely, denounced as cowards and traitors, and others who had never seen a shot fired, hailed as the heroes of imaginary victories. And I saw newspapers in London retailing these lies, and eager intellectuals building emotional superstructures over events that had never happened. I saw, in fact, history being written not in terms of what happened, but of what ought to have happened, according to various party lines."
I thought that was good. What's up, Mr. He said in the building? Man, appreciate you, my guy. I was checking out, man, one of the old videos. I'm still going back to my catalog. Went through another one. It was you, Dr. Nakumbe, and another gentleman whose name I never remember, but he comes up on your panel quite a bit. I was listening to that last night. But I popped in the chat that day too, but it was cool listening to some of the old content. It's about 3 or 4 months ago, man. But the dude talked about things being reported that are not accurate. They say things, they're war heroes that never served, and people that actually did serve are getting labeled, mislabeled. There's a lot of that going on right now. I mean, even with the literal war stuff, they've been talking about Tim Walz misquoted himself as having served, but he actually he never saw combat. Talking about the guns that he carried, the guns he carried, the assault rifles that he carried in war should never be on the streets, but he actually never served in war. So that's like the kind of things that people are saying, and they're not really being reported accurately. JD Vance had to kind of fact check that. He shouldn't have had to. Like the press that are putting out these things that people are saying, they should be doing the fact checking or like not put it out at all. But again, that's what was being said a long time ago. Because it's George Orwell. Like we've got to be better, but we're actually getting worse. There's another clip I want to play really quick, talking about like the reality of things versus the way things are reported, the rumors and the reports. Let me see. What? And see, I gotta go to timestamps now. I wish I had everything clipped, but they shut me down, man. They shut me down. All right, so let's see. Boom.
Scene. We're going to start with a quote from the 1920s, which says, "It is often very illuminating to ask yourself how you got at the facts upon which you base your opinion. Who actually saw, heard, felt, counted, named the thing about which you have an opinion? Was it the man who told you, or the man who told him, or someone still further removed? And how much was he permitted to see?" Walter Lippmann.
So I like this quote too. I wanted to share these up front because I think these are important things. So we have the thing from 1984, George Orwell. talking about how things were reported. But then we have this too: how we form our opinions. How did you get your opinion? Because I've been having this. I've been having spirited debates with people for about the last month, and they have very strongly held beliefs about things. And I want to ask them, like, how did you form your opinion? Like, where did you hear that? Why do you feel like this thing is true that you can't verify as fact? And people are very confident in their opinions, even if it's not based on anything, nothing that you can verify, quantify, qualify, nothing. Who actually saw this thing? Who actually heard it? And they'll refer to somebody else. It'll always go back to somebody else or a book that somebody else wrote. And you never have access to that person to verify what they verified. This is all belief at some point. How much was that person that you saw permitted to see? How much did they make up? What are the facts? And that's the thing that we have to deal with when we're in these election cycles. So I thought those quotes were interesting. I did. I saw the edited clip, and then I saw the full clip. That was bad too. That was bad. But that's what people are doing. It was from the campaign. Like somebody on the campaign went ahead and did that. They spiced it up. And I get it. I get why you would want that. I get why you would want to put Joe Rogan in there as if he was endorsing Kamala Harris. I get that desire, but we got to have some ethics. We got to have some standards. They don't have any in the press. They don't have any in politics. We have to have it. We have to be dutiful. We have to be attentive. We got to be critical. And this is the last thing before I get into the topic. Man, 253. Because I thought this was interesting. You know, everybody acts like right now today is the worst time ever. I've saw people have this debate, and they're like, "Oh, this is the worst time ever. We've never been more polarized than we are today." But then you have the Civil War, and you have to wonder, like, what do you mean? What do you mean that we were never been more polarized than we are today? Then everybody's like, this is the most vitriolic, the most mean-spirited, the most name-calling, the most ill-tempered, the most unprofessional, what do they call it? Contenders, presidential contenders on record. Nobody's ever been like all the name-calling and okay, I found something for you. What's up, Nay? What is up? What's up? I found something because I hate when they do that. This is the first time in history, Black people are the only group of people. I hate that because it's not true. There's nothing, even the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. People did it before us. Guaranteed. So let me pull this up because I thought this was great. This is the most, yes, it is the most time. It's the most time of the year. All right, so, oops, I closed down. I didn't mean to do that. Have the videos actually been playing, guys? Have the videos been playing, or have they been like hit skip? Like typically the audio works, but the video kind of freezes. The video is not highly important on a lot of these, but I wanted to ask while this is playing. So it's about 30 seconds here. Oops.
John Adams supporters in 1800 said that a Jefferson presidency would see, quote, our wives and daughters the victims of legal prostitution, and said that under Jefferson, quote, murder, robbery, rape, adultery, and incest will openly be taught and practiced. This is actually kind of like the current Republican talking points. Jefferson supporters, for their side, said that Adams, quote, behaved neither like a man nor a woman, but instead possessed a hideous hermaphroditical character, which is basically what the more extreme voices on the right said about Michelle Obama in the last few years. And they called him a repulsive pedant and a gross hypocrite. So name calling is not new. But here's what's interesting.
It's not new. So I want y'all to hear that again, the things that they were saying. And again, dude brought wives into it.
Surprisingly mild. After all, John Adams supporters in 1800 said that a Jefferson presidency would see, quote, our wives and daughters the victims of legal prostitution.
A presidency by Adams would have our wives and daughters be put into legal prostitution.
And said that under Jefferson, quote, murder, robbery, rape, adultery, and incest will openly be taught and practiced.
Murder, robbery, rape, incest will be openly taught and practiced. These are the kind of things that they said back in the 1800s. We're not in new territory. This is not a brave new world. So we're here. Like, let's bring it down to here. This is what politics has always been. So like, let's level set first. We're here. Think, this is the most divisive. No. No, we're not there. We're not there. Yeah, fear mongering. Let me see. Say, damn. Fearmonger. We're not at the worst time ever. We're not.
Actually kind of like the current Republican talking points. Jefferson supporters, for their side, said that Adams, quote, behaved neither like a man nor a woman, but instead possessed a hideous hermaphroditical character, which is basically what the more...
I said he's like a man or a woman. You're basically trans. Like they're calling people basically trans. So, I mean, this is going on in the 1800s. 1800s. So we're all right. We're all right. People getting called weird. People called dumb, incompetent. Not bad. Lock him up, lock her up. We're in good territory. We're safe. We're fine. All right. Just want to get that clear first because everybody's so hyperbolic. Everybody's so like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this. Well, yeah, you haven't lived long enough, and that's great. But we also don't teach history. And that used to be kind of cutthroat. Oh, man. But I wanted to get that out the way, too, before we get into the first guy. Because your boy, J.D. Vance. Now, I'm from Ohio. I heard about J.D. Vance before he pulled up on y'all. He was a snake then. You could tell. It's just something about him. He just comes off like a fake. He just comes off like a fake, a snake, a phony, a crony. All of that just it comes through his pores, man. Trump doesn't even know. Trump himself does not. And I heard about this yesterday. I've been doing a lot of research. Now, this is a rumor that Donald Trump Jr. is the one that pushed Vance and tried to get his dad to take him on the ticket. Don't know if that's true. So I want to let y'all know I don't know if it's true. But it makes sense because Trump, and I'm going to show a clip later, does not know his own VP stance on things, which is embarrassing. How do you pick somebody to be your second in command over the country, to preside over the country? And if something happens to you at 80-something or around 80, if something happens to you, he takes charge and you have no idea what his policy, his ideology is. Had no clue. How do rumors get started? Started by me. Absolutely. Trump doesn't even know his guy. And we don't know him either. Now, I'm going to tell you from out here, he grew the beard. His wife even made a remark about it when she introduced him at the RNC. The beard's new. His stances are new. Everything about this guy is brand new. Like he's fresh off. He's ripping him out the package. He's acting brand new. He hated Trump. Now he loves Trump. He had a turnaround. Once he saw Trump in action, he's convinced, blinded by the light, all that good stuff. He had a Jesus conversion for Trump. It's the weirdest thing ever. And we saw him in Ohio first. But I want to pull some things. Yeah, his beard is new. He started wearing the flannels. He wanted to become real folksy. Because like the dude is, I promise you, the dude is crazy. What's up, my little sis? What's up, Mark? Good to see you. Good to see you. I gotta find this clip real quick. I'm not sure where I put it. I'm not sure if I already had it before. I might not have uploaded it. Nope. All right, so it's still in streamable. Okay, so I've got this video because he said some dumb thing. I'm going to show you some of the dumb things he says. There we go. Because he's a moron. All right, cool. Give me a second to add this clip in. I'm going to let that play. Shouldn't be long either. It might be about 30 seconds. But he's a moron. Complete simpleton. 22 seconds.
It is the weirdest thing to me. Democrats say that it is racist to believe, well, they say it's racist to do anything. I had a Diet Mountain Dew yesterday and one today. I'm sure they're going to call that racist too, but it's good. I love you guys.
He's so desperate to be a part of the crowd, man. It's so terrible. I thought Trump's son pushed him to meet with that YouTuber Aiden Ross. He did that too. Yes. I heard that from the exact same place. He got pushed to do the Aiden Ross thing, which was, connected with the new. And speaking of fakes, Kamala Harris has tried to reach out to her team, tried to reach out to Kai Cenat, a black streamer who does not jump into politics at all. And so he's up there making fun of like, I don't want nothing to do with no politics. Isn't Walsh a new Democrat? He used to be red. He might be. Now, I haven't looked in his background. He's from Minnesota. Minnesota is one of those kind of purplish states, red, blue. They have very conservative values. You know, I would say in the city, St. Paul, Minneapolis area, big city, of course, that's going to lean more Democrat. But the people of Minnesota, most of them are rural people. Other than like St. Paul, St. Cloud, maybe. But I used to live in St. Paul. It was a great area. I loved it. It reminded me very much of Ohio. Very kind people. Both Minneapolis and Columbus, Ohio. Both of us have had high levels of Somali. I don't want to use the word invasion. What do you want to call it? Immigration? Refugees? I don't know. But a bunch of Somalis then came up in Columbus and Minneapolis, and it kind of changed the demographics. Not drastically, but there's a high level of population. Like when you got a lot of storefronts that are Somali, it's interesting to see. And they were not very warmly received, of course. But both cities struggle with that, that sudden burst of diversity that wasn't like American diversity. So everybody kind of struggled with that. I think Minneapolis is still having problems with that. Kai wasn't going at all. Reverse passport bros. Kai's not initially asked to interview her after Trump's interview with a streamer, but he lied about her team reaching back out for him. That was debunked. He was just trolling her. Okay. Well, now CTV's on the beat. Now CTV is the man on the street. He be digging deep into this stuff. So I only heard what Kai himself said, and he is a streamer. You got to take a lot of what these people say with a grain of salt. Like unfortunately, the politicians are the new content creators. It's sick. Bro, invasion. I mean, but you was here. You was here. St. Paul and Columbus have become Somali safe haven. And I'm not saying they're bad people, but it's an acquired taste. Learning to live with people of a completely different culture who are not trying to acculturate or assimilate is difficult. So I understand how people came at Black people, but there's a temperament you can have. Like you can be accepting and tolerant. You don't have to be intolerant, but it is different. I remember I told this story on stream too. My coworker, Shira Taylor, my little sis in the chat, loves this story. But Shira Taylor, they were Somalis, and they eat something different. They wear fragrances that are different, and we were unused to it. So I worked in the housing authority, and this lady, Shira Taylor, rest in peace, was spraying Lysol directly onto them because of the smell. I had to stop her. That's unacceptable. That's a type of an assault. You can't spray chemicals on people. You cannot spray cleaning chemicals on people because you don't like their smell. Absolutely, she did that. Now she's gone. She can't be held liable. She can't be taken to court. But it was crazy, and I had to stop her because I'm just watching her spray these people, and I'm like, no, like Dory, no. Yeah, it was sad. It was sad because they don't deserve to be treated like that. We have to learn to tolerate and become accustomed to people that are different from us. Only the Indians are difficult. Hey, you might have a president, Cindy, but calm down. They were washing their feet in the sink at your job. Woo, boy. Yeah, the housing authority stories are crazy out here, but I'm trying to tell you. We had a lot of fun, though. And shout out to Yella. I don't think I greeted you. I just think I mentioned your comment. And shout out to Yella. Shout out to CTV. Shout out to Nova. Shout out to little sis MD. Appreciate all of y'all for popping through. But I got this next clip because JD Vance was talking crazy about, what was he talking about? He was talking about the childless cat ladies. And he's big on family values. He's really big on family values and wanting men and women to marry and to have children. But I wanted y'all to hear his temperament to make your own decision. Out of his own mouth, he's going to say some things, and maybe you care, maybe you don't. But at least I thought this part was interesting. He was on a podcast and talking about when he got the call from Donald Trump.
Fix somebody else. And I like tense up and almost have a heart attack. And the crazy thing about it is my son, who's 7, is in the hotel room with me. And he's really into Pokemon cards right now. He's going through a Pokemon phase. Are you guys into Pokemon?
I was back in the day.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a big phase right now, I think, in general.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's really into it. So he's trying to talk to me about Pikachu. And I'm on the phone with Donald Trump. And I'm like, son, shut the hell up for 30 seconds about Pikachu. This is the most important phone call of my life. Please just let me take this phone call. And he doesn't care. He's like, he doesn't know what the president of the United States means. So Trump hears him and says, who is that? I'm like, that's my 7-year-old son. He's like, put him on speakerphone. And so I do. And Trump proceeds to read the statement that he's about to put out making me his VP nominee. And he asked my son, he's like, what do you think about that? And my son's like, oh, it sounds pretty good, you know? And he goes, okay, fine. And he hangs up the phone and the statement goes out 5 minutes later. And then my whole life changed. And that's how it happened.
Wow.
Now, what I liked about that story was how Donald Trump handled it. Because life be life. And what's up? The world class anybody, man. Appreciate you for stopping by, my guy. What I heard when I heard the clip, because they only clipped the first part. Shut the hell up, son. I got this is the most important call in my life. And they made it look like really bad. Made it look terrible. Which is not, it still doesn't look good. But they made it look terrible just clipping them right there. But Donald Trump was like, hey, you know, you got your kid in the room, you know, put them on the phone. We'll try to involve them, which is reasonable. That's what most adults do. They try to accommodate children. I think that's normal adult behavior. But JD was like, man, shut the hell up. And I wanted to contrast that with something. Give me a second. I wanted to contrast that with something. Because JD, Mr. Family Values, gets a call. And I get it. It is an important call. I get it. That is an important call. But it's also your kid. So for me, that was like, I don't know. Mr. Family Values got a way to go for me. But this right here.
Hi, sweetie. Oh my God. Hi, love.
So he's in the middle of doing a live stream. He's a therapist, Dr. K, Healthy Gamer. In the middle of a live stream, helping people work through their mental health issues. And this child walks in.
Okay. Okay. Great. Love you. Yes, you can have that back. Okay.
We're gonna take her for lunch, okay?
Okay. Love you, darling.
How much longer?
A little bit.
Love you.
Bye.
I think for me, I'm just talking about speaking to temperament. I can't say right or wrong. Everybody gets to handle their family how they handle them. But for temperament, as far as a family values person, shut the hell up, son. It's not going to fly with me. I would rather have somebody greet their kid with love. Because again, the household I grew up in, you know, little sis could have said, you going to get that shut the hell up. I'm on the phone. Shut up. I'm on the phone. Man, listen. Yeah, leave meetings at work to get video. You got to, the kids are important. These jobs, they don't care. Trump might not even keep Vance. He better not. He shouldn't. He should get rid of him like the Democrats got rid of Biden. He needs to get rid of Vance. Vance is a liability. Vance is a liability. But Mr. Family Values is not really family valuing to me. Y'all saw the racist Mountain Dew because he's an idiot. That how's a diet Mountain Dew equate to racism? He's a complete moron. He's a simpleton. I got another clip. Him talking. This was just recently. Hold up. Because he's talking about drugs in the Midwest. Y'all remember the whole crack epidemic? Got penalized, a lot of harsh drug sentences, but then all of a sudden fentanyl, opioids, and everybody's like, oh, it's a health crisis. Okay, we get it. But then listen to what he said about his own people. I wish I could have had these clips, but boom. Bear with me while I pull these up. I hate that little lag time. But they're contrasting something, a conversation that Cuban was having, but they're about to play J.D. Vance's part.
If you wanted to kill a bunch of MAGA voters in the middle of the heartland, how better than to target them and their kids with this deadly fentanyl? It's really a border crisis that has gone all over the country. It's heartland. If you wanted
words are harmful, especially to those who he technically serves over.
that if you wanted to kill a bunch of MAGA voters in the middle of the heartland, how better than to target them and their kids with this deadly fentanyl? It's really a border crisis that.
Now he's saying this again. This is him talking about his own supporters. He believes that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are targeting Republican voters exclusively with fentanyl in the heart of America. So the whole, they brought crack and dropped it in the black neighborhoods. They brought crack. Now he's doing the same thing with fentanyl, which is crazy because they denied that with crack. But even secondary to that, he's saying that you can target MAGA voters with fentanyl. He's calling them crackheads. He's calling his own voters crackheads. If we bring fentanyl to an area, all these people are going to jump on fentanyl. That's crazy. That's weird to believe that in the party of self responsibility, individual, rugged individualism, self-determination. All of them are so susceptible to fentanyl. That's weird. That goes against everything that they've been saying. Everything that they've been saying. But that's what he's saying about his own people. I'm like, man, they can't resist fentanyl. You can just drop fentanyl in the community, and they're obviously animals. They can't control themselves. I mean, that's what they said about us. That's what they said about, but that's what he's saying about his own people now. We got something else real quick. Now, this is what I think, because there's the guy that could have been VP, Shapiro out of Pennsylvania. He had something to say about JD, and I think it fits. Let me see, it's at 440. Mm-hmm. But he's a complete simpleton, man. And that anybody supports him, man. If JD is your guy, if you believe in him, if you've heard him talk, and if you think what he says is on point, I'm like, ugh. I will say I do agree with some of the things he says about family, because he is kind of red pill. I'm gonna point that out in a minute. He is kind of red pill, which, is a thing. All right, let me pull this up. Up.
Donald Trump? Well, he's now got a partner with him. Y'all see that guy? Yeah. JD Vance, he's not exactly off to a good start. I think we can all agree on it. But I think part of the reason why he's not off to a good start is this, and it's serious. He doesn't know who he is. And he's not being honest with himself, so he can't be honest with the American people. He can't. Now, so.
Oh, shoot. I want to pass the point. So it was just that thing. I didn't have to have the chance. My bad. I would have had these clipped up, but again, my service is the service I was using has stopped taking clips. But I agree with this. Being from Ohio, having seen JD Vance come up in his 2 years in the Senate, seeing him run for Senate, he's fake. He's made up. He doesn't know who he is, doesn't know who he wants to be. He's changed every couple of years what he's doing. He can't be trusted. He has no clue. But people are going to support him simply because he's a Republican. If that's your thing, cool. But it has to be called out. He doesn't know who he is. We don't know who he is. Tomorrow, I'm going to make the same case for Kamala. She doesn't know who she is. We don't know who she is. But I don't like him because Uncle R says he's bad. Still haven't seen a full interview of his. And you're not missing anything. He's going to hit a lot of Republican talking points. But I will tell you what I do like about his family values. He does believe that men in the United States actually need some sort of push promotion. They need the government intervention, which I do believe. I've talked about this on this platform, that men need a social advantage because a lot of the DEI, a lot of the affirmative action, it did not get equally, even in something that was supposed to bring equity, it wasn't equitably distributed. So men, by the very virtue of affirmative action and DEI, which was supposed to promote minorities and women, overwhelmingly helped women and minority women more so than men, because men get the patriarchy benefits. We are not supposed to get anything. That's a real thing. So now that women are making as much as men are, if they have the same qualifications, same industry, same education, women are making 95 cents on the dollar. If you control for all the other factors, women make 95 cents on the dollar what men are. There's still a disparity, but it's very minimal if everything else is the same. So with that being said, when men have the families, we take care of the family. When men have the money, we take care of the family. When women have the family, they're not taking care of men. Women are by and large not inclined to take care of men. So men having money makes more sense for family planning. He believes that. Men need a leg up financially because that's the only way men are going to be included in the family. If men are not the breadwinners or at least equals, we don't get taken care of. Society does not look at us like that. And he does believe in that. And I see that. Having been around the manosphere and red pill, I see that clearly. It's been laid out. It's factual. There's people in academia who can see that, and they've been pointing it out. I've shared some of those videos too. So it's a real thing. Men are being disenfranchised, even though there are men at the top making all the decisions. A bulk of men are being disenfranchised, disempowered. So it's a thing that needs to be addressed, and he actually talks about that. So that's the one thing I do like about JD Vance. But everything else, he's a little off on. If you want to have, let me see, did I play this video? Give me a second. I think this was only 11 seconds. 11 seconds. Ooh, I don't even know if I need to share it. I'm not even sure what this was. I didn't write down what this is supposed to be. Give me a second. Let me see what this is real quick. 144. This might be his family values thing. Now, this is his voting, his family values and voting. Now, this is an important one. I don't know if he'd actually be able to get this done, but this one is interesting.
When you go to the polls in this country as a parent, you should have more power. You should have more of an ability to speak your voice in our democratic republic than people who don't have kids.
All right, so that was him, I guess, when he was in Senate, 2021. He was either running for Senate or just getting into Senate. He thinks if you have children, you should get a vote. You know, the whole black people had 3/5 of a vote. We counted as 3/5 of a vote for the slave masters, the people that owned us. Well, now the children count as a vote. So if you have 5 children, you get 5 additional votes. It doesn't make any sense. That's where his family planning thing gets stupid, because I don't know about y'all, but I've watched a lot of Kendra G. And I've seen a lot of the women that have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kids. I don't want them having an additional 6, 7, 8 votes. I don't want that. If y'all have seen the women in your neighborhoods that have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kids, do you want them having that many extra votes? Like, that's ridiculous. Nah, you get an extra vote for each kid. You get to vote for the interest of your child, which is crazy to me. On one level, I like it, but the people that have kids out here are mostly irresponsible. The people that have 8, 9 kids, 8, 9 votes. Come on. No, that's dumb. But that's JD. JD's pretty dumb. But yeah, Mexicans, stand up. So unless you get the border under control, I mean, because Latinos, the Mexicans, they reproduce at a faster rate. So there's a real thing when you have that great replacement theory that white people are complaining about, and the browning of America, because your birth rate is declining. First time, I think, with a negative birth rate in the last 1 or 2 years. Well, now you got a voting problem if you let him pass laws that give extra votes to people that have more kids. But he also wants to incentivize having kids like they do in China. Yeah, it goes against what this country is founded on. But listen, that's JD Vance. He's quoted as saying universal daycare is class war on normal people, while his wife, Usha, the lawyer, has on-site daycare at her practice, at her firm. He doesn't want working class people to have access to universal health care. So he's not for the people. He's calling it class warfare, but he has benefit of daycare. Doesn't want normal people to have access to it because it's some kind of class warfare. So he's not for poor people. Even though his book Hillbilly Elegy will make you think he's for poor people in Appalachia and rural areas, he's not. He doesn't. He went into venture capitalism. I think he went to Yale. He's not for the little people. So unless you're rich, JD's not your guy. Unless you have a woman staying at home taking care of the kids, she doesn't even count to him. The childless cat lady comment, that's his actual stance, where he wants people to get extra votes if they have kids. So we're just promoting people are not going to get married to have these kids. So it's still going to have a problem. Everybody's not going to get married to have these kids. So he's got a lot of thought problems. So he's super red pill. So if you want one of those dudes that talks about, comes online, talks about the wife needs to submit, woman needs to submit. Meanwhile, she's an ambitious career woman like his woman is. Probably bosses him around because all their kids have traditional Indian names. Not one of them have a general American name. Not one. But here's your chance to put that guy in the White House. He be the VP. He's the VP. He's President Trump's VP pick. That's the second in line. That's JD. All the things he talks about, he's not. When we've seen those dudes online talk about what women need to do, but they're not doing it. They're not running the household. The woman's making all the choices. We've seen those dudes. They're miserable almost every single time. But he's your guy. If you have a lot of assets, if you make six figures, above six figures, he's probably your guy. But the rest of us, do not let a vote against Kamala and Trump put this dude anywhere near any seat of power. He doesn't need to be anywhere near there. But now Trump. Let's talk about Trump a little bit. Let's talk about Trump for a minute. Now, because I could not pre-clip these, y'all don't have to bear with me. Everything's going to take a minute. How long is this video? Oh, cool. I can play this whole thing.
There's so many absurd things that I don't even know how you respond to them. It's funny. Donald Trump says so many absurd things that I don't even know how you respond to them. So I sort of laugh and think he's trying to entertain his base. It's a dangerous course to go down, of course, but that's what he does on a regular basis. And I sort of laugh at what he's saying. So the other day he was saying we're going to get rid of Obamacare. It's like, really? What have you got? You said that when you were president. Did you ever introduce a plan to replace Obamacare? No. So at some point, you realize you don't have to take him literally, and you don't have to take him seriously either.
So that's the first thing. There's a candidate running that people are saying you don't have to take literally, and you don't have to take seriously. The person that we want in the highest seat in the executive branch, that to preside over the country, to be the figurehead for the nation. Everybody keeps saying this too. It's not just Mitt Romney. A lot of people say, don't take him seriously. Don't take him seriously. He's just joking. It's just jokes. That's weird to me. It's weird to want to put somebody in a seat of power or authority and say we shouldn't take them seriously. We shouldn't take their stuff literally. At some point, you need to take these people literally. Seriously. Something. You got to take something from them. If everything's a joke, go stand on stage. Go be a comedian. Go do something else. Go back on The Apprentice. Go do that. You're good at that. But then he keeps talking. He keeps talking. So let me see. You know, we had the whole, you're not black if you don't vote for Biden. You're not black if you don't vote for Biden. All right, so let me tell you. Donald Trump pulled something similar.
That Vice President Kamala Harris is anti-Semitic. And keep in mind, she is married to a Jewish man. But during an interview today, the rhetoric took another dark turn. Just listen to this.
Because she dislikes Jewish people and Israel more than Biden did. And Biden never did anything, and neither did Obama. If you're Jewish, if you vote for a Democrat, you're a fool, an absolute fool. And today it's almost like, I mean, Schumer has become a Palestinian. Chuck Schumer is officially now a Palestinian.
It's funny, but it's true. It's sad. He is.
Now, hearing that stuff, it is funny. Like for me, it's comedy. But like you said, if anything, you can't just say they're not serious enough. That's a strong enough criticism. It's even if you can't take away that they're evil. Yeah, there's a problem with that. Either you're being funny, you're being unserious, or you're stupid, or you really want to be a dictator. But I like this whole the Jewish thing right there, because it's the whole high anti-Semitic hate. That's getting on my nerves. But he's saying if you vote for Kamala and Biden, you're a bad Jew. It's like the black thing, but for Jewish people. It's crazy that people are saying this stuff and nobody's bringing this one out. Like this guy gets airplay, but they say so much. They say so many stupid things that they can't cover it all. But these are the people that are running. Like these are the people that want to preside over the country saying stuff like this. You're a bad Jew if you vote for the other guy. That's like Joe Biden. I can't vote for a guy. If you're not black if you don't vote for me. That's stupid. How could you vote for somebody that says something like that? How could you vote for people that were against busing because they didn't want the black people in? How could you vote for people that are against you? It's a weird thing. But people are distorting and twisting their minds to vote for these people for one reason or another, mostly because of who they're against. And I see what you're saying. JD's not worse candidate than Kamala. Kamala's got a lot of problems too. Kamala's got a lot of problems too. Ben Shapiro's got a boner. Ben Shapiro's losing his mind too. That dude is losing his mind. But let me pull this next clip up real quick. It didn't hyperlink, which is annoying. This is actually old footage. You'll recognize this dude. So when you see this dude and you see the way he looks, you'll know this is old footage.
Race. And I've noticed that a few pieces of conventional wisdom have formed around the candidates, none more than with Donald Trump.
6 in 10 Americans believe Trump is unqualified to serve as president.
He's not qualified to be president.
Unfit to be president.
Unfit to be commander-in-chief.
The Des Moines Register writing that Trump is, quote, not only unfit to hold office, but unfit to stand on the same stage as his Republican opponents.
He's unfit for that stage? No, that stage is unfit for Trump.
Now, dude was making a joke, but back before, I remember when Trump ran. When Trump ran the first time, everybody said he's unfit. He's a celebrity. He's not a politician. He never became fit. He's not fit. People just decided to vote for him because he said things that they wanted to hear. I get it. But he's not fit for the office. He's an idiot. He's a complete moron. Like JD Vance. They're both idiots. MAGA MFers, period. They're both dumb. They're both dumb. And if you want to vote for dumb people, that's on you. You have that right. But they're dumb. They are dumb. Now listen. He lost me for sure, if for no other reason than simply by choosing JD, who's a complete moron, and not knowing his ideology. So listen, I'm gonna play that clip real quick. I'm gonna play that clip because this dude doesn't even know who his running mate is. 1647. Here we go. Let's see. Doesn't even know what his running mate's platform is. All right, let me see. Share this screen instead. Wow. Bam. All right, cool. Now listen, I don't vote for dumb people. I vote for no people. And you know, that's your right. I'm not one of those people, Quantum, because I can't stand, and I want to do a stream because there's some things that annoy me when people that do vote try to shame people that don't vote. Like, we're still voting for a lot of idiots, a lot of criminals, a lot of liars. There's no virtue in voting for these people, for either side. There's no virtue there. So shaming somebody that doesn't vote, nah. And I promise you, I want to get Bro Clarence on here, but I don't know if I can be respectful about this. The not voting for Harris is an automatic vote for Trump. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I want him to articulate his position on it, but I don't know if I can be respectful because it's so stupid. And if people have regurgitated, somebody on IG was arguing that down to me because of the electoral system. The electoral college makes that argument even more dumb. Because if I don't vote for them, or if I even did vote for them, I'm getting grouped in with a lot of other people, and that electoral vote is what's choosing the president. Not my singular vote or non-vote is getting lumped in with a bunch of like-minded people in my area in districts. So that's an even dumber take, but that's not the one that Bro C said. Oh my God, but it kills me when people say that. Yeah, the lesser two evils. If it's evil, why do you want to choose between evils? And I really don't understand that for a Christian. Like people that are Christian or Christianese, you say you're for God, but then you're like, I'm going to choose the lesser of two evils. How could you choose evil if you're for God? That's weird. That's a weird mentality. I don't even think they listen to themselves talk a lot of times, but that's a side thing. They say vote or die. Just die. Just die. Just die. It's better. It's better to just die than have to listen to these idiots and think that they're the people that are going to preside over the country. Like, and I'm trying to tell you tomorrow, Harris is not better. She's dumb too. And she's also a fake too. But we'll talk about her. I'm not doing a lot of stuff on Tim Walz. Tim Walz seems like a traditional union labor salt of the earth type politician. Don't mind him much. But it is what it is. And I haven't done a lot of research on him. I pulled up a lot of material on these clowns, but I'm talking about the dumb things. And see, if they're willing to say these stupid things openly, it's going to be 10 times worse privately. That's my problem. If JD can say this much stuff stupid publicly, he's worse privately and in policy. Same thing with Trump. Listen to Trump admit that he does not know. And what's up, Yellow? He does not know his own candidate's position. He's at Trump is at the NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists. I see. Oh shoot, child! Don't get me started on the actions. Yeah, he's at the National Association of Black Journalists, which had its own problems. I ain't even gonna get into the whole thing, but listen.
Children. Did you know that he had these views about people who do not have children before you picked him to be your running mate? And do you agree with him?
No. Okay, so he doesn't agree with them or he doesn't know. But hold up. They were asking him about what I just played. He had those views that people that have kids should get more of a say, more of a vote. They're more patriotic. People that don't have kids don't have an investment in the country. Childless cat ladies. Like those are some of his views. So they were asking him about that. Let's just go back real quick. But he said no. Hold up. Of course. Give me a second. 16. Yellow made my internet trip out.
The choices they've made. And so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. He's not talking here about how great it is to be a parent. He's attacking what he says are the choices people are making to not have children. Did you know that he had these views about people who do not have children before you picked him to be your running mate? And do you agree with him?
No, I know this. He is very family oriented and he thinks family is a great thing. That doesn't mean he thinks that if you don't have a family, it's not. I know people with families. I know people with great families. I know people with very troubled families. And I also know people with no families. They didn't meet the right person. Things happen. You go through life, you don't meet the right person.
But he's not just talking about families here. He also says that people that don't have children should get less votes than those that do.
I'm just speaking for myself.
Is that your campaign
I think
position?
I'm speaking for him too. He strongly believes in family.
Again, I'm speaking for myself. He's trying to answer from how he's interpreting what the lady's saying about JD's. He doesn't even know JD's position. And you can kind of tell by the way he's answering. But he's like, for him, I know people with families, without families, they're all fine, very fine people on both sides.
Family, but I know people with great families. I know people with not great families that don't have a family. And the people without the family are far better. They're superior in many cases, okay? He's not saying they're not. What he's saying is that he thinks the family experience is a very important thing. It's a very good thing. But that doesn't mean that if you grow up and you grow older and you don't meet somebody that would be wonderful to meet and would have been good, that's a bad thing. He's not saying that. My interpretation, you'll have to ask him actually, but my interpretation.
His interpretation, you'll have to ask him because Trump doesn't even know his own guy's views on family, which is an important platform of JD Vance.
Is he's strongly family oriented, but that doesn't mean if you don't have a family, there's something wrong with it.
Just one last point and then we'll move on. Just one of the bedrock principles of American life is one person, one vote. Senator J.D. Vance has suggested that someone who has children should have more votes than a person who does not have children. I just want to be clear here. Is that the position of your campaign?
Well, no, but it's not something I have ever heard before.
No, I've never heard that before. How have you not heard something that your guy wants to change about the entire voting system? How have you not heard that? Why have you not had those conversations? How are you that ignorant to your own running mate? You want to slap her? You want to slap her? The lady in the blue got on your nerve. Now she was as they say about the guys all the time, she was sassy. She was really sassy. She definitely brought some sass.
I can tell you this. Right now you have illegal aliens coming into our.
But that's where he hold up. That's where he went, took the question sideways. He's going to take the question somewhere else. But he didn't even know J.D. Vance's position on that, on the voting thing. So what you think about the Ella? Now that you popped up, what's going on, Playboy? Welcome in. And right back to you.
It's my new, that's my new greeting. Everybody, fuck y'all, fuck you niggas.
Mm.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't hate the if you got more kids, you get extra votes. You get.
Okay.
I mean, they the future of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So
no,
and we
there's a logic to it. There's a logic.
Yeah, I mean,
to
there's a logic to it. Yeah. Is it practical? No, because
That's
now
the
you're
thing.
reorganizing organizing the voting system, and shit gonna get sketchy after that. So yeah,
Yep.
but no, I'm
Yeah.
I as a person who has a child, yeah, because I'm voting for his best interest anyway.
Mm-hmm. So now you're gonna have to have family court to determine which parent gets to vote that child's interest.
I mean, that's cool too. I'll even go as
I'm
far as
just
to say
saying.
this.
Yeah.
I'll even go as far as to say this. It should only be married families then. I'm with that.
I like that.
I'm with that.
That would cut out the Kendra cousins. That would cut out the Kendra cousins.
Yeah, that would also cut out having to talk to them broads sitting on stage, because goddamn well ain't, man. I'm sitting up here the whole time like, you think Trump don't know JD stands? Like, you sitting up talking to a demographic of women who don't even believe in family building. So having this conversation, they was offended at the thought of family being important.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's the thing. That is the thing, because JD too, like I said, he's red pill. He's got a red pill ideology. There is something to the feminist rhetoric that is very anti-family. A lot of people that don't, I would say, people that don't look into a lot of the background of what people are saying and doing, they don't know that there's actually a group of people that actually want to bring down the nuclear family. Like the BLM group, that they were very anti-nuclear family. It was in their little manifesto. When I read that, I'm like, that's crazy to say they actually want to destroy the nuclear family, or they want to stop that's weird to a mother, a father, and children. We don't want that. That's a weird thing to even have as a part of your founding principles. So there are people that actually are against family. And I think a lot of people want to believe that most people are well-intended, and they don't mean that. They couldn't possibly mean that, but they do. So there are people that really just don't want men and women together. They don't want men, women, and kids together. There's a lot of people like that. So I think his stance on that is well-founded. Like, there are problems with feminist doctrine in some camps, like the extreme feminism, the anti-male feminism. There's problems with that. So I think he's right with that. I like how he answered all the questions. Now I will tell you, Quantum, the fact that he even went to the National Association of Black Journalists at all, he get credit for that. For me,
he
gets credit for that. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, nah, showing up. Politicians don't pull up, bro. Politicians do not pull up.
And that's why I wouldn't vote for Trump either. Goddamn well ain't nobody in there trying to hear. Nobody. Goddamn well ain't nobody in there trying to hear you. So not only fuck him for doing that stupid shit, but fuck them too for having him, because y'all know y'all wasn't trying to hear shit he was talking about. Y'all just wanted to argue, because y'all was gonna softball the shit out of Kamala, but then they would have softballed the shit out of Kamala. I seen where the damn convention was taking place at in Chicago. It ain't nothing but some pandering ass bitches out here. So that's just how it worked. You know what I'm saying? But no, yeah, fuck him too. Because why would you go there knowing goddamn well? And that's why when motherfuckers was like, you can't take him seriously, you can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't.
Yeah. I don't think you can take him seriously.
That's that idea. Well, if you sit around people that you don't agree with, the fuck you don't. We see what happened. It don't never really equate to shit, but more arguments and more fight. So no, he don't get no brownie points for showing up in a place where he knew he wasn't wanted it.
I hear your point. Now, where I disagree, though, he went to the National Association of Black Journalists. Journalism should be such that a candidate could show up and get legitimate questions about their record and what they plan to do should they get the presidency. Again, it's about journalism, but they weren't acting like journalists. they were acting like, I don't even know what to call it. I don't even but like commentary, like the commentary opinion.
They was acting like black people. They was acting like black people. Get again. They was acting like black people.
I appreciate the fact that he showed up. I think Kamala was at a thing, the burial or going home ceremony, something to honor. Was it Shirley Chisholm? Not Shirley Chisholm. Is that her? Shirley Jackson Lee.
You say
somebody
Shirley
recently died.
Chisholm, she been
Not Shirley.
dead since before we
It was somebody. There was a politician that just recently died.
She was a well-renowned Shirley something. She was a well-renowned senator, politician.
Sheila Jackson Lee.
You know,
Sheila Jackson Lee. Sheila Jackson Lee. Yeah.
Chantel Monet, whatever her name.
There you go. They were acting like ignorant women. And again, the one in the blue was
I said what the fuck I said.
Yeah, listen, come
Hold
on.
on. So there don't be no misunderstanding. I said what the fuck I said.
Shoot. All right, listen. Let's get to this next point with Trump real quick. Because this dude, now this is, for me, this is the one that I can't let go of. For me, Kamala's got one I can't let go of, and this is Trump's for me.
Win this election, most important election ever. We want a landslide that's too big to rig. If you want to save America, get your friends, get your family, get everyone you know, and vote. Vote early, vote absentee, vote on election day. I don't care how, but you have to get out and vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
I'm muted, telling you mute. You muted, brother.
Appreciate it. Okay, now listen. This dude talking about you're not gonna have to vote again. It's gonna be fixed so good you won't have to vote again. Serious, unserious, joking, not joking. This guy can't be put in charge. This guy can't be put in charge. Once you say something like that, you can't be put in charge. It's as a comedy show, he's hilarious. As the person who's set up as like the head of household, no.
But that's all that matters. That's all that matters to the people involved.
And that's the problem.
Is that he entertaining. And
that's a problem.
That's all.
That's such a problem. Yeah, it's not okay. That's for me. Yeah, permanent President Logan. And everybody keeps trying to. Well, I think he meant the same way he tried to reinterpret what JD meant, but he was wrong. The ladies actually had his JD's policy right. People try to reinterpret and reframe it to make it palatable. We go through all these gymnastics to make the things he say okay, but they're not okay. They're just not okay. There was another thing he said. Oh, I wish I could remember the other thing. Nah, Freudian. It's crazy. A bunch of shit is entertaining. Why not the prayers too? Because it's serious. Because this influences everybody's life. Now, again, he doesn't make policy. He's not a legislator. He's not the Supreme Court. So he doesn't get to interpret the laws. So he's not as immediate as the judicial and the legislative branch, but he's the figurehead. You don't want your father, like let's pick like the head of household, the mother or the father. You don't want that person being a clown. The head of the house, when somebody comes over for dinner, when somebody's trying to do business, like the insurance man's coming, you don't want the head of household to be a clown, a joke. They can be entertaining, but they need to also be able to handle business. They have to be able to handle business. It's never been serious. We just believed it was. It is serious. It is serious. Because people people's impressions matter. It's like, or quantum. Here's the other thing. If representation doesn't matter, then we can quit all the DEI stuff. We can quit all the affirmative action. We can quit all the Oscars so white. We don't need to see black people in positions, because if representation does not matter, we can quit the black girl magic. We can quit all that. We should not be having a whole bunch of black women supporting Kamala because she says she's black. All of that should go out the window if representation doesn't matter. Who represents you absolutely matters. It shapes public opinion. It shapes personal opinion. It influences the direction that people go, because again, once Trump got in, we all know how vitriolic a lot of things got. A clip I played earlier, it's not as vitriolic as things were. It's not the most divisive time. It's not the most heated rhetoric. A lot of people are saying that. It's not. But it did amp up after Obama. What if the head of household is a Joe? He'd be asleep. Speaking of, now there's a little bit of fun. Y'all let me know. Because Trump is right about something. Yellow, Trump is right about one thing. Kamala Harris did turn black. She did turn black. And because I am who I say I am, I have obtained rare archival footage of the moment she turned black. Does anybody want to see the moment Kamala Harris turned black? Does anybody want to see it? Y'all gotta let me know if y'all want to see it. Vaughn Bryant in the building. Vaughn Bryant in the building. Hey, listen, she turned black. Who turned her? Y'all want to see it? Y'all want to see it? All right, listen. I got the footage. All right, we about to go. All right, hold up. Yella. This is Kamala Harris becoming black. I got it.
On the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, it was a rough and tumble day for certain. It's an instant Saiyan punching bag. Now, that's gotta hurt.
Child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
Pop goes the weasel. I won't let you get away with this! I won't let you!
Every strike with somebody different. I was the AKAs and I said AKAs and saving our power.
What are you? I am the hope of the universe. I am the answer to all living things that cry out for peace. Man, this shit sounds soft as hell. What the f*** I look like reading some bitch-ass shit? I got a Dragon Ball chain, nigga. What the f***? So much time is embezzled in that bitch. It's worth more than your whole shit with your ugly ass. What? Did I stutter, hoe ass nigga? I am the light in the darkness. cause my chain be glistening. Get a good look, bitch, spare me. Niggas think I'm fighting to save the day, but really, nigga, I just like to fight. What? I don't care about none of that shit. Please, just let me go. A lot of good. Nightmare to them ops, ho!
Can Kombucha, Zendaya, Kamala become the next president of the United States and the first woman president? Can Donald Trump, the 34-time felon, recover in time to regain his once-held presidency? Find out all this and more on the very next episode of the U.S. Presidency.
So y'all got to see Kamala turn black. I thought it was beautiful. Her whole accent change, voice change. I thought that was dope. When I found that footage. Hey, listen. What up, Greg? I'm meeting, but I'll start to be minutes in a bit. I just wanted to share that with y'all. Because, I mean, Trump said that she turned black. And I'm like, I didn't believe it. I'm like, nah, she's always been blackish. But now she turned black. She powered up. Just saying.
I mean, hey, black giveth, black taketh away.
Yeah, but listen, I know there's been a lot of talk. I had to do that because it's about to get real dry. Project 2025. He's closely aligned with Project 2025. Everybody keeps saying that. You know, it's a big thing. The big fear-mongering thing is with the Heritage Foundation, and they're going to do with Project 2025. Trump said he didn't know she was black. Yeah, man, listen. He's funny as an entertainment product. I just don't want my entertainment product to preside. I don't want them to be the face. I don't want Kevin Hart to be president. I don't want Cat Williams to be president. They can do some important things. But is she really on a black card? Maybe. She'd have made a lot of money. But he's closely aligned with Project 2025. It would turn this country around, but doesn't mean it would turn it around in the right direction. I mean, there's lots of
it'll turn it around so it bend over and get fucked. Yeah, it'll turn it around. Yeah, you've been turned around and bent over. That's exactly how it's gonna be.
But yeah, it's really,
but that's on both sides though. But that's on both sides. Yeah, that's on both sides. Any of these fucking extreme ideas they coming up with.
Yeah, every person has a direction they will take the country. Doesn't mean it's a direction you want to go. Like where you end up, you may not want to be there. Like a lot of people don't want to be where we are now, but there's a lot of good to where we are. Joe Biden vouched for her being black, absolutely, and we're going to talk a lot about her race. I got a big section on her race tomorrow. I mean, pictures of her grandparents. Like we're gonna go into her race tomorrow. We're gonna go into a lot of stuff tomorrow.
I thought you were finna say pictures of her something else. I'm like, what pictures of her what?
Pictures of her what? Her what?
I mean, hey, look, she might be phony. She ain't nothing.
No, she ain't nothing.
I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? She
now listen,
bullshit.
Quantum. Now here's the other thing. There's a lot of accelerationists, people that just want to see the world burn. They want to vote for Trump. I get it. It makes sense. I just want people to think and for it to make sense of what they say. And that's my biggest issue. A lot of people do not say or do what aligns with their values, that their stated values. A lot of people are liars. They're public liars, performers. That's what gets on my nerves. If you want to see the world burn, if you want to see the democracy kind of like fall apart, you want to see him fix things, you want to see how bad it can get, how good it can get, I have no problems with that. That's a legitimate thing to want to see. Because I'm part acceleration. I kind of want to see it go bad too, to see how bad it can get, because I think that'll make people come together. If it's really bad, people will come together.
But are you willing to light the match though? Or are you waiting for somebody else to light the match?
Here's the thing. I'm definitely waiting for somebody else, because see, for my vision of America, I have a different acceleration. Because see, mine would be more blood and glory. So I am not lighting that match either, because I haven't dispatched anybody.
This is why I asked that. A lot of people want to see the world burn, but ain't nobody gonna be the one to light the match.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about a real match. You just fucking with the people in your circle. You being disruptive in your circle ain't shit.
True.
I'm talking about the real match where you go do some actual shit that makes some waves happen.
Yeah.
Because if we talking about changing a society, this ain't even a culture. This is a society change, apparently.
Yes.
So if you want to see the world burn, but you just want to sit back and wait for everybody else to burn it down, I don't want to hear shit you talking about.
I think.
You know what I'm saying? Because you sitting back encouraging some destruction that you not willing to participate in. You really ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how this is all playing out.
Yes.
Because the other kicker to that is you can't do shit.
Oh, we can.
When?
I said people really could do something. I'm just saying we really could do something during COVID.
I mean, we could, but doing something would also include motherfuckers getting on the same page.
Yeah.
Yes. And right. So that ain't gonna happen. You can scratch that the fuck out. So ain't nothing finna change.
Yeah.
Because motherfuckers gotta get on the same page. Motherfuckers can't even agree.
Yeah.
You can't even get agreement in small groups. You think you're gonna get nationwide agreement?
Not on anything that requires something ugly.
Exactly.
Yeah, not on the left. Not on the left. Because see, my thing is, I believe in the actions of the right, but I don't believe in their values. Like the January 6th stuff. They shut down like freeways and stuff, and I want to say it was Michigan. Like when they shut some stuff up in Michigan, they shut down like even like emergency vehicles couldn't get through because they went with all the Trump trucks, blocked the freeways and streets, so people couldn't even move and do commerce downtown. Like I'm with those type of behaviors. I'm with civil disobedience, civil disruption. I'm with all that. I'm with when they out here in Ohio when they enacted the COVID mandates. They went and surrounded the Dr. Acton. They went and surrounded her house. I'm with that. I'm with going further than that. I'm with those tactics. My issue is I know the people on the right, eventually it'd be like that. And then they came for me porn because there's at least 30% of the right side just are racist. Like I can't trust them with those tactics. If there's going to be violence or civil disobedience, I can't have it in the hands of people that just don't like somebody because their skin color or their gender. Like, because that's not a valuable value set for me. But if the left was willing to organize, like they're willing to organize, if the left was willing to get in the street and not just like riot and protest in the middle of the street peacefully, like surround somebody's house, like go to the governor's house and surround that when you know he there, surround that joker. The 5,000 people just flood the compound. I'm with that. And as far as lighting the match, like if I knew, like, okay, cool, I knew people were down. If I had to light the match, the literal match, if I had to pull a trigger, I'd be absolutely willing to. But if I do it by myself, I'm just a killer. You know what I'm saying? Is if I just go by myself and shoot somebody, I'm that dude to get shot on the roof.
But that's the thing, though. That's the thing. Sometimes everybody ain't gonna join you for the revolution. Sometimes, right. That's what I'm saying. So, like you said, the actions is one thing, and that's why I say I can't rock with both sides, because if you look at the opposite side, you could look at how you would say like black folks responded to police brutality during the pandemic, where they shut down businesses, shut down street, protested. Yeah, they was doing it. The idea was there, the intention was there. But then it turned left when you realizing that we destroying our own shit. Now you notice how the motherfuckers on the right, they went and fucked up somebody else's shit.
Stuff.
They
Yes,
got nothing
that's
to do.
what I mean.
Yeah, they went and fucked up somebody else's shit.
Exactly.
Right? You know what I'm saying? But their meaning behind it was way off. Like I could see the understanding of being upset, but then you fuck up your own shit. You know what I'm saying? And now it turns into a robbery. It turns into robbery and breaking and entering, and now niggas is getting locked up for the shit instead of creating the revolution.
Yeah.
Greg, so I understand.
Only a white person would think that 30% of the conservative party being racist is a bit high. Only a white person will say that. I'm sorry to say that. I'm sorry that you feel this way, because it's obviously at least 30%. At least 30%.
So
now, when
wanna...
let me clarify this real quick. Because when people say racist, I think a lot of people, we have different versions of what racism means. A lot of people think like vitriolic, like I'm burning a cross on your lawn racism. When I say racism, that's not what I'm talking about. The people that would actually go and burn a cross on your lawn, I do think 30% would be a bit high for that. What I'm talking about racism is, would they prefer for me not to exist than to exist? But like Yella saying, they would never like the match. That's greater than 30%. There are more than 30% of people that are in the right wing would prefer not to see black people, but they'll never be the one to burn the cross.
And you got more. You got so many more. That makes up majority of everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what when I'm saying racism, I'm saying people like, not that are tolerant of me or okay, like people that would rather, oh, he's black, I'd rather, nah. That's what I mean. Like that distaste, but like not enough to get active about it. That's what I'm talking about. That's sort of racism. Yeah. Like that aversion racism. Because that's the thing.
So I seen MD's comment up there. I know you had started.
Yeah. Because there are times where we do come together. But like I was like with most of these, since the slave revolts, everything's always kind of peaceful. And that's my thing. You're not really going to get too much of peace. We're past that point.
Yeah, and those was like,
what you think?
No, I was just gonna say I agree, right? But that was a different time and a different purpose. Like that was for show. We can all mostly, for most part, most people agreed that those things was wrong, right? And those things had to change, and we got to change out of that. But since then, like a lot of this is just it's more civil now. Not so much civil rights, but just the idea of the person involved, right? It's so individualized. Everybody is super individualized for themselves, for what they want. You know what I'm saying? That we would never see the light of day where we can actually get back on a page where you have mass cooperation. You know what I'm saying? We can't even get two niggas to play chain together the right way.
Listen.
Or period.
Listen.
I ain't trying to hear shit.
Didn't you? We got rid of that. We had slave revolts and civil rights to get rid of being chained together. And you want to take me back?
So we gonna have to chain together again, nigga, to get it done.
We're not going back.
We're gonna have to chain together to get it done.
That's how. But not going back.
But that's the level of cooperation that we gonna need. You feel me?
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the level of cooperation we gonna need to fucking be able to succeed. It's like the scene in Mighty Ducks 2, which is the top 3 greatest sports movies of all time. I don't care what you're saying. Anybody want to fight me, we can fight. They added a bunch of new players to the team, right? And even those new players they added to the team was all individuals. None of them came off the same team, right? So they added a bunch of new people to this team, right? And they couldn't get along. And what Coach did was, Coach Bombay, probably the greatest sports movies coach. I'll give Gordon that now. Yeah. He tied them all together and told them to skate. You ain't got to play hockey. Just skate. Just do the simple thing. Just skate. And it took where they was like all had to like work together to be able to skate. Because when they first started, they was falling. This rope was coming loose. They couldn't get no movement. But once they started talking and agreeing and understanding that we all got to know where we going, we all got to agree to go this way, No, they were skating all in one pack, turning and all that good shit. Have you seen the comment section? All right. And that's all for Rashawn today, since nobody cares. So we'll see him later. Now, like I was saying,
Mighty Ducks. All right.
I mean,
Come
hey,
on.
look. I need
Finish the
to
analogy.
I mean, it was finished. No?
Oh, okay. My bad. Mighty Ducks, everybody. My bad. That's why I respect Fruit of Islam, because they go hard for each other. And I get what you're saying. I do agree. You're right. There's a level of cohesion people need. I don't think the left is good with cohesion. People who lean left are less cohesive because we're more individuals. Because I think we're so diverse that we're more individualists because we have so many different religions and lifestyles and all this stuff. So I think people that lean left are more individualists because we're so different. So we really only come together to get something done, and it's hard to cohere when you're only really coming together for like the political things. Like we don't really live together. We don't really do a lot of things really together. We're not really integrated. Where the right has they have a couple of demographics that are heavy. Like Greg's talking about, and Greg's talking about the people around him. He doesn't have a lot of ethno-nationalists around him, but he's probably only around white people. So if you're not, he probably wouldn't even know if they were ethno-nationalists because they don't have themselves challenged by the presence of a lot of gay blacks. Now, if a whole bunch of blacks and Mexicans and gay people and people with blue hair and pink hair was all around them, and dudes with beards and wigs, if they were all around them, then we start to see what their true attitude was. But when there's no challenge, it's easy to say nobody's around there because we don't see what you're like around those people because you're in the rural area. In the cities, we're all much more condensed. So we gotta live with each other. There's that natural friction.
And this ain't no knock to Greg, but the level of white people we talking about are part of the regular culture. They're not just around their own type of people. They're around everybody. So that hate is what they carrying around, or what, like you're saying, that racism is what they carrying around. So yeah, man, it sucks, bro.
Yeah, the left is definitely more individualistic. Absolutely.
I mean, to be fair, did you see the Republican debate?
Which one? I know we were all watching. In Discord, we were watching all the. I'm sure.
No, I'm saying I meant it figurative. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, did you see how they was treating each other?
Yeah. And see, there's a different ethic. See, they'll trash each other and then like coalesce around whoever's in. Like, we have a harder time with that because of our individualism. You trash me, I'm gonna hold it against you. Like, the Democrats have a harder time. Like, I'm gonna let that slide because you're in power and we're gonna coalesce around you. Like, Republicans, they be getting in lockstep. There's a different, I don't know what it is, but there's a different cultural value. Well, they will shift their allegiance to power as opposed to principle. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, but it is what it is. Quantum. MAGA. MAGA to you. Can't stand you.
When you talking high level, well, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never been up that far. But when you're talking about high level politics, I don't think anybody is really going against anybody. Because if you look at the last time the Democrats was actually going through it, they tore each other apart. They don't really and then they end up working together. Because remember, Kamala was running for president when Biden won. Right.
They keep their discourse at a certain level. They keep their they keep it in a respectable realm.
But it's the balance of the other side, and that's the idea of it. So it's playing with a designated hitter, which the American League used to do, and then playing without a designated hitter, which the National League used to do. You know what I'm saying? So you consider they understand a certain boundaries, whatever. They don't really cross a certain line. But look, I was listening to I can't remember what's her name. Talk to Kamala Harris the other day. She was dragging her ass in that debate. I can't think of her name. Pretty motherfucker too. But she was dragging her ass in that debate. So they go at each other. Yeah. But then they also turn around and work together. It's like it ain't no secret. These motherfuckers is working together. It's like a work, bro. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's AEW and WWE. It's a work. It's all the brand you watch.
It's a little, I'm gonna say, between the right and the left, it's a little bit different because the right gets a little more vicious with their attacks. Like they don't want to be talking about moms, wives, kids. Like they get a little. So the fact that they can get over that to work and support each other, that's foreign to me, and that's probably because I have that leftist idea. Once you start talking about my mom, my wife, my kids, I'm not about to work with you and try to help you. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. I'm part of the individualist left that I'm talking about. Like I'm part of the person that once you throw certain jabs at me, we're not working together. And if I do, you shouldn't trust me because I'm going to undermine you. Like I'm probably only taking the position so I can undercut you. Like because I can't drop the principle. I can't get the memory out of my head about you talking about my family. There's at least one Republican. I can't remember his name. I just saw the video just yesterday. But he was like, he can't vote for Trump because of stuff he said about my wife. We had to have extra security because of the people trying to surround my house and kill my wife, like because of the death threats. It's like there's certain, everybody can't get over that.
Yeah. That's what I said. It's like both them nigga Christian was talking about niggas dead parents, nigga.
Yeah. But again, that's pure entertainment. But that's pure entertainment.
But I'm saying though, nigga, like you gonna fight somebody, right. That's what I'm saying. It's a level of understanding. Right? So you understand the level of work. Plus, shit, it is what it is. But at the same time, you got other people who didn't take that shit kindly, and they had words in the back too.
Yep.
Like so, if you go too far, motherfuckers gonna go too far.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It happens. Yeah. But that's why I say I think at the high level they got more cooperation than the people who quote unquote have the idea that they can make some type of difference or they can make some change, i.e. the people.
Yeah, because we don't have that. Whatever that is that will let you back somebody after they called your wife ugly and accused your dad of killing JFK. A lot of the people on the left, we don't have that. And I'm saying I'm one of those people too.
Ugly, though? Is she ugly?
It don't matter. Once you say that, we can't be
if
cool.
She ugly, nigga. Damn.
We can't be cool. You can't do that on the Now see, but I'm just to the point though. It would keep me from doing the thing because like Quantum says, that reminds me of this YouTube shit. How many people? I mean, even on my own channel, I've had so many falling outs with people where we have disagreements and we can't work together anymore. Like we just can't because of a principle. Like people won't come back. So I mean, it's a real thing, and I don't know what the value difference is that can make people get over. Like people talking about your kid, talking about your wife, and basically getting you a whole bunch of death threats to your family. I can't imagine just being like, okay, yeah, let's work out this thing tomorrow. Let's do the stream tomorrow. I can't. I don't know the mental thing.
Game. Right at our level, I can understand that.
Yeah,
because I don't really have that either. I don't have that either because there have been a lot of motherfuckers that said some crazy shit, and they didn't have to back that shit up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned,
that's probably money and power.
A lot of crazy shit. That's what I'm saying.
I've never really chased either one.
But that's what I'm saying. The people who play that game, it's called politics,
it's that value.
Bro. You politicking, you playing the game, bro. Like you in the game, you hustling. Like it's a hustle.
But that's the thing. That's not what politics means. Like at the root of it, that's not what politics is. That's what it's come to mean because of the way they played it. But that's not what politics
that's how they playing it now. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but it's that's where it's at now. Like nigga,
that's where it's at.
Look, we you know what I'm saying? I get it. Shit. When there is a lot of money, that's a lot of power.
Yeah.
Even at the lower level.
Yeah.
So even if you're running for president,
yeah,
you in some type of position of power with a whole lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't gotta win. That's why most of them motherfuckers was just there. My nigga Vivek gonna win one of these years. If he make that's the nigga that's gonna get me to vote again. Because whatever y'all that entertainment factor y'all see in Trump, or like whatever that thing that I vote for that nigga. Because he went in. He went in. I don't see them fucking with him though. I don't really see them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm like, okay, stand on that shit then, nigga. Say that shit. Because he said that shit and he meant that shit. Because he doubled down. He quadrupled down, and now I'm with it. But yeah, when you up at that point, bro, it's like, man, look, get in where you fit in. Yeah, if I want to get the presidency, I might. It's gonna be cutthroat, nigga. This the president of the United States, bro. You my nigga. If we was running for like the president of the United States, I'ma drag your ass, nigga. I'm sorry. Like I'm probably say some fucked up shit. Nigga, but I'ma put you on, no, nigga. Let me say, nigga, if I get through, I'ma put you on. But I'm at to tell him why you can't be president, nigga. That's just how it's gonna be. Because we playing big league ball. I would hope you do the same to me, nigga. Because I would not want you to be like, I didn't fucking go in like I was supposed to get that. Because that's the presidency, nigga.
Yeah, that's why I'm where I'm at. I don't do it. Yeah, I don't.
That's where I'm at too.
Yeah, I don't do it.
That's where I'm at too. Yeah. I'm with it though.
Yeah,
I'm with it.
I don't play like that.
I'm with it
because, but it's a for me personally. I know it's a mental, emotional thing because I don't recover from that. I'm going to remember that every time I see you, and I'm going to have thoughts. And see, I just can't. I can't be cool with that. And then, Greg, I know you're disagreeing with something. I don't know what you're disagreeing with. You're saying that somebody's misreading the Trump part of the party. I'm not sure what you're trying to communicate and to who. I prefer real hate over fake love any day. I think some people are just too real to be phony. Yeah, and I mean, and I ain't gonna say too real because I think everybody's got a type of fakeness, but I think everybody has like a flavor of fakeness that they're okay with. And the one where I work with you and don't like you, that one's difficult. I can be cordial. I can be cordial. I can be professional. What I can't do is want to do something with you. I can't have any motivation to work with you after you've kind of disrespected me. I won't have any motivation. So anything that will require any effort, like, man, we really got to iron out the details of this. I'm not doing that with you. Not after what you said. So after Yellow ran for president and threw all them shots at me, that's it. Like B bracket, nah, ain't coming back. Nah, bump that. So to B bracket, you think I'm about to work a poll for you? Man, get out of here.
Hey. But nigga, if I offer you a spot in the cabinet, you gonna be like, what? You gonna throw away all that shit because I talked a little shit so I can get in.
Yep. I'm about to be because again, but that also like culture in the way I came up. Going and working for or doing something for somebody that played you makes you a punk. Like that just makes you a punk.
Real shit.
That's what be a punk. Yeah. That's the way I grew up. I can be a punk. Oh, so you gonna go and be after all that stuff Yella said about your mom?
You gonna go work for the nigga?
You gonna work for him? You a punk? Okay.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Like speaking more realistically, I'm on the same page with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to like conceptualize the idea of being in that position.
Greg, we know who Republicans are. You are who you are. Your vote tells us who you are. We all live with y'all. You're all over the news. Y'all tell on yourselves. And I'm not saying you are them. I'm just saying they are who they are. A lot of them are racist. A lot of them say they believe in small government, but they don't. They believe in the government overruling other people. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that are true in this world. But that we don't know who Republicans are is crazy. They're upholding half of the government. And yes, Trump was a FU to the Republican system the way I think Democrats need an FU to the Democratic system. That's why I really wish like black people could vote outside. We could do it a couple of different strategies. Like if we all like voted non-democratic, that's one. Or if we all registered as Republicans and voted for Democrats where we needed to, like for judges or something like that, but for president we abstained or something, that's two. Like there's so many other tactics to manipulate, to send a message other than just sitting on the couch. There's so many ways that we could actively send a message to them to let them know we're happy, not happy, or to disrupt. We could do that. But your Republicans are Republicans. They're not some secret society.
Right. You really don't know the inner workings, man. Look. They American, right?
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah,
Guess what? After a certain level, at a certain time of living.
Yeah, we know. Like Lindsey Graham and all them, they were not happy that they had to suck up under Trump, but they all did it, is the point. They all did it. They all caved. They all punked out. They all went for power or money. Yeah, that's the thing. Like we know who they are. They're weak. Like they have weak wheels. They don't have principles that they stand on. They're going to go for power. Whether their principle, like what I'm saying, their value or their principle is different. It's not like they're not trying to stand like I'm an independent thinker. I believe in this and I'm going to stand on that. They'll all cave if the pressure's right. And some people ain't that like that.
Come on, man. I know y'all be hating my wrestling references. But look, man. Ted DiBiase told us, man, everybody got a price.
Yeah. And the prices
everybody
are different.
got a price. Yeah, hell yeah. All prices is different.
Yeah.
Everybody
But mine
got
ain't
a
gonna be
price.
like mine wouldn't be money and power. You could sell me on making me believe I could make a difference. Yeah, yes, Greg. Like Greg. Let's kill this here, please, Greg. Nobody's a monolith. So when we say Democrats, we're not talking about one group of people that all think the same. When we say Republicans, we're not thinking about one group of people that all think the same. But nobody cares about making that distinction. We're having a broad conversation. So as far as trying to separate out who's in the Republican Party, this is not what this conversation is for. So I'm just letting you know I won't be responding to any more of these type of comments. I really don't care. Like in this conversation, I don't care to make the distinction. Same when I say like Democrats. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't care in this conversation.
Like,
I don't care.
Who? Right? Who? Neolibs.
Yeah. Not doing a poli-sci conversation. That's we're not going into the deep trenches of who's who and the demographic breakdowns and who's the voting bloc and where they live and what we're not doing that. I'm not doing that today. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, do they not vote? And look, that's kind of what I'm saying.
But see,
that's kind of
in a poli-sci conversation, that would be important because their reasoning and rationale for why they vote would determine what you're talking about. Like that's a legitimate thing. Like the reason Black people vote Democrat is not the same reason that Latinos are voting Democrat, but they're voting Democrat. So lumping them together is unfair. But if we were trying to strategize, like, how can we get Black people to stop voting Democrat? You wouldn't tell them something that affected Latinos that didn't affect Black people. You know what I'm saying? It would it affects your verbiage and your strategy if you're going that route. But that, you know what I'm saying? That's not what, if you're going that route. It matters on a certain level. But not this.
I mean, at this point, it just seemed like charisma. Like sheer charisma.
We've got to that point.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm like,
on the lowest level of society, we're going on entertainment. Like Quantum's been talking about, let's want the president to be entertaining too. A lot of us, because we're on the lowest level, like we talk about in Rome, the bread and circuses, like the lowest, the common denominator of society, we're on entertainment. We're on Real Housewives. We want the Real Housewives of the White House.
Give me like 3 years, man. Give me like 3 years. I'm gonna get my shit together. And it's gonna be what? That'll be about time for the next election. Yep, yellow 2028.
Yellow 2028.
Yellow 20. Yeah, let's give me. Yeah, I'm gonna be 40. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be time for a younger president. You know what I'm saying? I'm a person of color. I'm gonna run independent, but I'm gonna do it right though.
Yellow's gonna turn black. Yellow's about to turn black, yo.
I mean, I'm gonna turn everything, bro. What you mean? You gonna get it, nigga? Look, nigga, look, just came up with it. Just hit me right now, nigga. My campaign commercial is gonna be the beginning of a different world, nigga. Remember how they was walking through the rooms and each room was changing? I walk through the room and it's gonna be so many different races, because nigga, that's how I get down. I keep it with black folk, I'm keep it with white folk, the Mexicans, the Jewish people, the any of the groups, the gay folks, all of them, the Asians, everybody gonna come fuck with your boy. I got you. I got whatever you need. Got me. I got whatever you need. I'm the push man. Push that button. Yellow 2028.
Well, guess I'll be voting for Trump.
I mean, hey, look. Cool with me. Because apparently, a vote for not voting for one person is a vote. So hey, look.
Oh my God. Yeah, so by not voting for you, I'm voting for you anyway. Because not voting for you is a vote for you, or 2 votes for you, or 3. I promise you that argument right there, that was probably going to make me cuss. That's crazy.
I'm gonna appeal to all the single mamas. Yep, I'm gonna change my whole stance.
So now you need to go with JD. That way, everybody with kids gets multiple votes, and then you can go rizz up all the single moms.
I'm gonna go
and then you win in 2028.
all the single mamas. I promise all the single mamas that we will start a stepdaddy database where men who volunteer and want to be stepfathers can register, just like organ donors.
Stepdaddy database.
Just like organ donors. You know what I'm saying? The same thing. You could put it on your license. You can put it on your license.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? Yep, I need your vote. Look, and look, it's gonna be the strict qualifications. We are going to appoint Kendra G as the head of the stepdaddy, because she know all the qualifications, how much you got to make, how tall he got to be, all of that. She gonna collect it. I'm saying she been doing how many years of data collection?
I mean,
you can only be on the show twice. You can only be on the show twice. She been doing almost 4 years of data collection. So what's another 4 years by that? Come on, man. Come on, man. MD, tell me that don't sound good. Come on, man.
I mean, do it. I say do it. Do it. Stepdaddy base. The daddy base. Jesus
Stepdaddy
Christ.
base.
That's wow. But I mean, it's probably necessary. But dang man, it gotta have a name on it. We gotta have settle in it. It's gotta have settle, like the app. It's gotta have settle in it so that they know that they're settling. I mean, just for me, just for the laws for me.
What's an acronym for settle?
I don't even know. That's too long of an acronym, but it's got to have settle in there. It's got to be in there.
Stepdaddy settlement.
Man. Maybe the settlement, the settlers, something. It's got to be something, boy. It's got to have the word settler that they know. Like, okay, I'm looking through the stepdaddy database.
But they not though. That's the thing. They not.
But they are. You
no,
say stepdaddy database.
Yeah, but you gotta qualify. You can't just get on that motherfucker. Everybody don't get on everything. Like if you are organ donor, you can't be an organ donor and be sick. You know what I'm saying? If you got a history,
so you're saying the women wouldn't get they wouldn't get to use the database themselves?
No, they would. The qualifications to be in this database is just like any other high level government. Government.
Yeah. I wasn't talking about for the dudes. Right? I was talking about the women when they open the app. They got to recognize that they're like, oh,
but they're not settling though. But that's what I'm saying. They're not settling because they're gonna get dudes who make over 100K.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, they're gonna run to that.
No, I get what you're saying. But I'm just saying mentally, I want the trick of reminding them that this is settling. Like that's why I said it's for me. Like that's a little troll for me. Like I get what you're saying. They're qualified. They meet all the qualifications that the woman wants, but I want them to have the feeling of I'm settling, even though they're getting the things that they. That's me. That was a private.
The settle down act. You want to call it the Settle Down Act? Then?
The Settle Down Act, something like that. That'll work. Yeah. I want them to know that they're not getting everything that they want, even though this is a quality individual. He meets all the qualifications.
Damn.
I want them to, every time they open that app, to have I want it to have a sad face on it.
You know, you couldn't get this by yourself.
I want it to have a sad face. Yeah.
Damn,
the silver
dog.
meddlers, the silver settlers.
Damn, bro. Bro,
Silver
like, nah,
settlers.
only way you gonna get this stuff.
Yeah.
You gonna get it every time you sign in. Every time you
that's
apply.
petty red pill stuff. That's petty. That's me. That's not useful. It's not productive. It's not helpful. That's just me being hateful. Anyway.
You should have to click in and get a short video from Fresh and Fit.
Man, or that Mad TV, it has that lowered expectations. When you open it, lower every time you open it, lowered expectations. That would be beautiful. I would love it. Oh my God, I would love it.
All right,
All right, real quick. I want to get into some of the Trump 2025, not Trump 2025, Jesus Christ. Project 2025. Big thing. A lot of fear mongering about it. He is closely aligned with it, even though he is directly denied it. It's a robust and extensive agenda for conservative movement that seems to have everybody shooketh, which I don't really respond well when everybody's really fearful of something. I kind of like, it's probably not as bad as you're making it out. But some facts about it. The Heritage Foundation, who is the author of this Mandate for Leadership, Project 2025, it's backed by over 100 conservative organizations. Many were led by close allies of Trump, including Turning Point USA, which he speaks at often, the Center for Renewing America, the Claremont Institute, the Family Policy Alliance, the Family Research Council, Moms for Liberty, and America First Legal. The latter of which was led by Stephen Miller, a top former Trump advisor. So anybody that is familiar with Trump, you've heard the name Stephen Miller. He's involved with Project 2025. His HUD secretary, Ben Carson, who has nothing to do with housing, he was a surgeon. He was a top contributor to the Project 2025. Let me see. Let me see. His Office of Managing and Budget Director, Russ Vaught. His acting Secretary of Defense, Christopher Miller, Ben Carson, former Deputy Chief of Staff, Rick Dearborn, and former Justice Department Senior Counsel, Gene Hamilton. And Vaught is also the Republican National Committee's Platform Policy Director. So a lot of people that are directly tied to Trump, that are in his orbit, in his circle, they're involved with Project 2025. So even though he says he's not directly involved in it, all the people that he knows is. They want to hold him to it, but I will say, if you've listened to Trump at all, you know he does not do a lot of reading. He does not do a lot of writing. The Heritage Foundation Mandate for Leadership is over 900 pages. I guarantee you he didn't read 900 pages. He did not write 900 pages. So we got to stop blaming that on Trump, but he is surrounded by the people that influence it. The issue is he retains plausible deniability by surrounding himself with people that do everything. So he can always say, I didn't have anything to do with it. I don't know anything. He can disavow knowledge all the time. But it reminds me of a quote, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. So this is Trump. Donald Trump has been charged, convicted, and is of 34. He's got 34 felonies, but he's got multiple things on the docket. He's got multiple things coming up. His former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, charged, convicted, and sentenced to prison. Trump's former campaign vice chairman, Rick Gates, charged, convicted, sentenced to prison. Trump's former personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, charged, convicted, sentenced to prison. Trump's former advisor and former campaign aide, Roger Stone, charged, convicted, sentenced to prison. Trump's former advisor and former White House aide, Peter Navarro, charged, convicted, currently in prison. Trump's former campaign advisor, George Papadopoulos, charged, convicted, sentenced to prison. Trump Organization's former CFO, Alan Weisselberg, was charged, convicted, sentenced to prison. Trump's former White House National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn, charged and convicted. Trump's former chief strategist, Steve Bannon, charged with wire fraud, money laundering, in addition to a conviction in a contempt case similar to Navarro's. He's currently awaiting sentencing. Though he was later acquitted at trial, Trump's former inaugural committee chair, Tom Barrack, was charged with illegally lobbying Trump on behalf of a foreign government. Two lawyers associated with Trump's post-defeat efforts, Kenneth Chesebro and Sidney Powell, have pleaded guilty to election-related crimes. And, you know, you got Trump's tax fraud. You've got his sexual assault case that he's civilly liable for. And we know he paid off Stormy Daniels, if nothing else. Let me see. So some of the men were ultimately pardoned by Trump while he was president. He said, so I wanted to just point that out. Rico, yeah, he's surrounded by criminals. Yeah. Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Greg, you're black. You're as black as Kamala and President Obama. So, but there's problems. I'm saying there's problems in his orbit. The people in his orbit are responsible for Project 25. The people in his orbit are criminals. So there's problems there. But people still will support this guy. But as far as specifically back to 2025, which he said he's not involved with, it doesn't matter because his Agenda 47, which is his presidential mandate, has a lot of overlap. He didn't write either agenda. I can promise you that. So I'm going to look into the one that's getting the eyeballs. That's the Project 2020. Then President Trump in 2020, because they do this, they've done this mandate for leadership ever since Ronald Reagan. So this goes back to the 80s. Then President Trump, of the 175 blueprint proposals that the Heritage Foundation made in 2020 when he was running, 66 are fully included in the president's budget, and the other 41 are partially included. The Heritage Foundation blueprint and the president's budget share about 61% in common, according to these criteria. And just to show you something, because you don't have to take my word for that, you can hear that from the Heritage Foundation themselves, who were happy to boast about their last proposal when he was president. He adopted 61%. So when they say Project 2025 is a mandate from Trump, maybe about a 60%. He's going to take at least half of it because these are Republican and conservative ideals mashed together from a bunch of people. If he's a Republican candidate, he should be closely aligned with what the Heritage Foundation wants to a certain degree, but even he didn't go 100%. So I just want to be fair. He's not 100% Project 2025, like he wasn't 100% Project 2020. So everybody, I know they're trying to scare us with that, but they're not going to put everything in. Everything's not even feasible. Everything's not even possible. No sheep will support him. Yeah, sheep will. To be fair, he did fire a lot of those people. Yeah, he did fire a lot of them. But again, he keeps finding these people. Like if this was a dating show, and somebody was like, I keep dating narcissists. I've dated 37 narcissists. At some point, your chooser, your ability to choose is problematic. So he's obviously either a poor judge of character or he's a poor character. Like he is one or the other. But again, we can't have that kind of incompetency. Either he's such a poor judge of character or he's a poor character. We can't put him back in. Like that would be a poor choice on us. That looks bad on us. Then we're stupid. At some point, we become the dummies. I wonder if the number of people Trump has fired throughout his career has affected unemployment rates. Okay, I like it. So in those instances where the president's budget partially reflects a Heritage Blueprint proposal, it's usually because of a difference in how much each proposal suggests to cut. There's an agreement about the problems with a program, but difference in approach to tackling them. So even though he instituted 61% of their proposals in 2020, because I never heard about like Project 2020. This is a new fear monger, Project 2025. They've been doing this thing all the way back to President Reagan. So this is not a new thing. They've been steadily doing it. And each Republican president has instituted some of their goals because their goals should be aligned. They're both conservative, but nobody agrees 100%. Trump's not going to institute. He can't institute 100% because they don't have control of the Congress. They don't have like a 60-40 majority. They've got the 50-50 just about, but that's not enough on some of these larger bills. Now going over Project 2025 real quick. Let me see. Someone said nobody since Caesar has surrounded themselves with worse people. That's probably true. Project 2025 has some proposals that are good, because I've read through some of it. Some that are bad and some that are stupid. To me, some of the good ones. They talked about transportation. Y'all know we have like taxi cabs, you have Uber, Lyft, you have those the bikes and scooters. They want to change the federal language on commuting from right now only people that take public transportation. Like right now it's like code out here. It might be MTA, MARTA on the West Coast in certain places. Like everybody, most of the bigger cities have a public transportation that's like subsidized by the government or run through the government. That is the only thing in federal language that qualifies as public transportation. So public transportation in current federal laws is what is publicly provided by the state. But they want to change it to be the language that is publicly used. So like the scooters, the Ubers, the Lyft, so that when there's funding to help out public transportation, it doesn't just go to the bus and train company. It goes to help the infrastructure for all of that. So the bikes, the scooters, anything else you may take, they could allocate funds to help out with all that. It might be to send some money to Uber so that their map is more accurate. So you don't see the car going through houses when you're waiting for your ride. I know I'm not the only person that had that. So because if they change the language, they can change the subsidies and who it goes to. That might better benefit us in other ways. So I think that's a good policy. Let me see, the child support tax credit. They want to change the child support tax credit so that people that is the parent that is not let me read this. Non-resident parents. So the parent that does not live with the child can also receive a non-dependent child support tax credit. Because a lot of times the person who's non-resident is paying child support, so they can get a tax credit. I think that's good. They want to reduce the premium subsidy rate for crop insurance. On average, taxpayers cover about 60 right now. Us taxpayers are covering 60% of the premium costs for federal crop insurance for farmers. We're paying more than half of the insurance for farmers. They want to reduce that to around 47%. So they want us paying less of the insurance for farmers. So I think that's good too. Go ahead, yo. That's like.
I was gonna say one little tidbit about the child support. Yeah. So unless it's its own separate tax credit, you if you're given at your own time and all that you up to date on your child support.
Mm-hmm.
You can claim your child. You can already get the child tax credit. You can have that set up in your child support agreement.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's something that you know what I'm saying? That's one of my.
But that means the guardian wouldn't be able to file that same tax credit, correct?
It would right, no, because that's already a law. I can't claim the same child twice.
Right.
So that's already an established law.
Right. But you're saying,
you know what I'm saying?
With that established law, the non-resident person could actually get.
Yeah. So if I'm paying child support, right. If I'm paying a frequent child support and it's showing that I'm taking care of my child, then I can fit into the child support agreement that you alternate years on claiming the child.
Mm-hmm.
So I claim every odd, she claim every even. You know what I'm saying? That's an existing thing. I just wanted to kind of
got you.
Yeah.
Now see, with this, the non-resident
It would
person
be
can
a
get their
mandate.
own tax credit.
It would be a own separate thing. Right.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
So the resident parent would have their tax credit, the main tax credit, and then let me see what it says is filers could receive a maximum of $538 in annual returns for one child and a maximum of $3,500 in annual returns for two children or more, based on the credit rate of 34%. So even though there's the main tax credit for the resident parent, the non-resident parent could also have this additional tax credit on top of, because there are costs associated with that non-resident parent too. So you know what I'm saying? I think that's good.
You go take that. You go take that that standard child tax. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to, like I said, that's some like you take that standard child tax, you get way more than that. 538 ain't
Yeah. I
shit.
mean, but if you're the person that's not housing the kids and feeding them normally, like you're just paying like $200, $600 a month, like that.
You can still do that. No, that's what I'm saying. You can still get the child credit and the other parent won't get it. I understand this though. Like, don't get it twisted. I understand the idea. Like, the idea is that it's not even a discussion. The custodial parent would file and get the standard. Yeah, would file and get the standard child tax credit, and the parent paying, non-custodial would get the child support credit. It's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
So I get that. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, that's a thing that could already happen. If you know what I'm saying, if you take A, B, and C, like if you do this, you can already make that happen. So that would be dope. No, like, don't get it twisted. That would be dope. But like, you can set that up now and you can get more.
Okay. All right. So reach out to Yella if you want to set that up before, if you don't want to vote for Trump, Vance, and have Project 25 implementation, reach out to Yella. He can tell you how to get that set up right now, today.
No, you vote for me in 2028, nigga. Look,
they can't wait.
I ain't gonna wait. None of that shit. They gonna have to. They gonna have to now. But just keep in mind, I'm gonna give you the game for free. I'm gonna be on. Look, nigga, I'm gonna be the only president be on YouTube streaming, giving out the game.
Yeah,
getting out the game.
Now, Greg thinks it seems bad that crop insurance, that groceries are way too expensive to not cover a shortage. They should have insurance. I'm saying that the taxpayers should not be paying for their insurance, because I know for a fact farmers are not paying any of my insurances. They're not subsidizing my insurances. Why are we subsidizing their insurances? We all have to cover our own costs and losses. Why is it that for every business that there is, why is it for every farm? Why is it for every bank? Why is it for every car manufacturer? We have to cover their costs to ensure their losses when they make poor choices or happenstances. Nobody covers our costs. No, nobody does. And that's not okay to keep putting that on the taxpayers to cover everybody else's costs. And we can't afford the grocery crisis going up because we're covering everybody's costs. If we quit subsidizing the farms, if we quit subsidizing the banks, if we quit subsidizing the auto manufacturers, if we keep subsidizing the wealthy, they could quit taking so much from us, which I know they won't unless we make them. But so much of our money does not have to be allocated to all these other places. We could then afford the increase when they have a bad yield, because that's what used to happen. Before all this stuff, that's what used to happen. Cities get massive benefits from federal funding. Rural people don't. Cities do. But cities also pay most of those taxes because there's not enough of y'all in the rural areas to have a working tax base that funds all those massive benefits. So, like, it goes both ways. The cities are making the money and we're subsidizing everything. Government is subsidizing y'all to subsidizing the rural areas to not farm, subsidizing y'all to insurance, subsidizing y'all seeds. There's a lot of subsidies for farms. Y'all rural areas, y'all take a lot of benefits. And there's a lot of data and facts on that too. Let's not act like all the production is all in the rural areas. Y'all do a lot of the farming, but a lot of that is subsidized off the city folks. Yeah. And the rural people, y'all don't get anything from the public transportation. Absolutely not. But you're also not really paying a lot into that.
Or you also don't need it.
That's what he's saying. They don't use it. Y'all don't benefit from that. But so if it's so, here's the thing. So I think he's making the argument like, well, we should have to pay for their farm losses the same way they should have to pay for our public transportation. So the cost gets spread out, but certain things should not. The rural people do not have to pay for the losses incurred by poor management at the public transportation.
Right.
Like, they don't have a tax to cover their insurance. There's no tax on the entire country to help cover the gap in insurance for their buses. Like that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of we shouldn't cover everybody's losses. Losses are built into the revenue, the cost of doing business. Like you have your revenue. What are the costs of business? What's our buffer? And what's our profit? Like if you can't build your losses into that, you're not sustainable. Like the post office, like the post office. So they have to be heavily subsidized because they're running at a deficit. If farmers just brought more cigarettes, the taxes would help subsidize their crops. Stupid. Yeah. I'm just saying there are things that people should not be covering. The public should not be covering everything. It's okay that rural people cover some city costs, and it's okay that city people cover some rural costs. That's fine because we share states. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there are certain types of costs that neither the rural people nor the city people should be covered. There are certain things that should be built into the businesses. We should not be subsidizing through tips. If there's a minimum wage, that should be the minimum wage. People should not be tipping to subsidize what companies won't pay. There are certain things, rural nor city, that the populace should not be paying for. We should
I
not
hate
be
that shit.
subsidizing those things. Yeah.
I hate that shit. People always look at me crazy. I hate tipping. I
Yeah.
tip. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Because I understand service work, but I hate the concept
Mm-hmm.
that we got to subsidize what this business that's making way more than this waiter or waitress is making right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to pay her enough. Bro, I tipped the fuck out of this pregnant waitress. She's pregnant. I mean, like leaning back. That basically damn near wobbling. Man, look, because that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was messed up. No, I get that.
Yeah. And so I'm not saying tipping is wrong, but they should not be dependent on tips to cover the shortfall in them not even receiving minimum wage.
No,
Like
yeah,
there should not be a lower minimum wage for tipped workers. Like there should not be a $2.15, $2.13 an hour. Like that's obscene.
Tipping should be an exceptional performance type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like exceptional work, exceptional job. You get tipped as a plus, not a subsidiary.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I get you. I get you.
Now, Greg, listen, I've told you, I've said this before on stream. Black people are extremely conservative on a lot of areas. They're socially liberal, but a lot of fiscal conservatism. I want a smaller government. I don't want the government in every area. I don't like that. They have too much. There's too much overreach. There's too much things that they have a say in. The difference between me and the current Republicans is their line. They don't want a smaller government. They just don't want the government on them, but they want everybody else governed. Like the whole policing women's bodies and them not being able to have chemical abortions and this type of, that's government. You have to have oversight and regulation and enforcement for all that. They want government. They just want it on everybody else but them. Like, nope, stay out of my money. Don't worry about my money and what I do with it. But watch those darkies. Watch those women. Watch those border crossers. Yeah, because they want bigger government on everybody else, but they don't want it on them. Me, I don't want it on anybody except for regulation and safety. Yeah, regulation and safety are my two things. Yeah, regulation and safety. Those are my two things for the government. In Project 2025, these are a couple of things I think are bad. They want to reform the state voucher system. So state agencies control WIC costs, women, infant, children. We just talked about that with the Hawaiian Punch Yellow. The state agencies control WIC costs by approving only one brand of infant formula through competitive bidding for infant formula rebate contracts. Because 50% of baby formula is purchased through the federal WIC program, it is vital that regulation for these competitive bidding contracts does not unintentionally create monopolies. So, what they want to do, because 50% of baby formula is coming purchased by the WIC program, they want to have one brand for the WIC program. So no competition except for the bidding process, which is typically, anybody that knows anything about bidding processes, they're not typically governed fairly. They typically go to friends, family, kickbacks. It's a lot of that stuff goes in bidding processes at any level of government. There's a lot of weird side stuff that goes on. I don't like the whole bidding process. I don't know if it's going to be open or closed bidding so you can even see who it is. There's a lot of conflict of interest that happens in bidding processes. But for them to have one for the entire WIC program, I mean, that's weird. So that one company would get a whole lot if 50% of the baby formula is purchased through the WIC program and they're only purchasing from one company, that's going to pseudo create a monopoly just from the government, because even the regular people are going to want to purchase from that company too. They're going to have some market share. So to me, that's a bad policy. And then they also have the Department of Labor should clarify that an employee given the option to telework need only record time if the quantity of work assigned for that day exceeds the usual amount of work that employee performs, so that the employee need not track every time he logs in and out, and the employer need not do so either. So for me, what they're saying, the Department of Labor, people that work from home, if you're working more, if you're not working more than you usually work, you don't have to log your time, which sounds like a convenience. But I've done enough time in corporate world that if you're not keeping your time and your company's not keeping your time, every error is going to go on the side of the company. Every mistake, every short is going to be out of your pocket. Nah, you didn't work 40 hours a week. You only worked 36. No, I worked 40. Do you have a record of your time? No, we don't have to keep our time. Well, we don't have to keep it either. We think you work 36. Now, nobody has a record. Every time it's going to go like that. I don't trust companies. Nobody should. We kind of see how capitalism has people going. Don't trust them. But that's another bad policy that they want to put in. Nobody's got to keep track of time. Come on. Nobody's going to keep track of your time. If you're not working over the normal, stop it. I don't trust them.
Yeah, they wilding. Yeah, they wilding. Yeah, they wilding.
Yeah. Nah, you don't write down your time. I'm not going to write down your time, and everything's going to work out. I've never seen that. I've never seen that happen. And then here is some of the ugly stuff in Project 2025. Let me see. Now this is a summary because they have a lot of very detailed stuff, and I'm not good at the maths. The maths I ain't as good at. But this is from an article. Brendan Duke, Senior Director for Economic Policy for the left-leaning Center for American Progress. Millions of low and middle-class households will likely face significantly higher taxes under the Project 2025's proposal. He estimated that a middle-class family with 2 children and an annual income of $100,000 would pay $2,600 in additional federal income tax if they face a 15% flat tax on their income due to the loss of the 10% and 12% tax brackets. If the child tax credit were also eliminated, they would pay an additional $6,600 compared with today's tax system, Duke said. So that's one thing. Let me see. I thought you just covered the ugly stuff. that was bad. That was bad. Now we're getting to the ugly. So them eliminating a couple of different tax brackets at the 10 and 12%, and people that make $100,000 paying an additional $2,600 in federal income tax. To me, that's ugly. Because even at 100,000, we're hearing this on Kendra a lot. So people that make 100,000 or say they make 100,000 are also feeling the pinch. Last time I've seen some studies and articles, they talked about people at 100,000, 60, it's either 40 or 60%. Around 40 or around 60% are still living check to check. So an additional 3,000 out of your pocket, and you're already living check to check at 6 figures, probably living in a city with these inflated costs. An additional $3,000 in taxes, that's not good. Another ugly thing is the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA. They want to move that to the Department of Transportation, which sounds stupid. They want to move the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency under the Department of Transportation, which governs like transportation, roadways, how things move through the country. Why would you want to move cybersecurity up under transportation? Like that sounds like a way to cripple the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Like to me, this is by reading it. Let me see. The Federal Management Agency, FEMA. They want to move FEMA under to the department from the Department of the Interior, combine it with CISA, and put it under the Department of Transportation. Why would you put the Federal Emergency Management Agency, who responds to like a lot of federal emergencies, like I know like the hurricanes? Why would you want to put that under the Department of Transportation? That's weird.
They wow.
Just want to funnel it to places. Yeah, it sounds crazy. It sounds like a way to move money to cripple agencies. Like, why would you put that under the Department of Transportation? Yeah, for the greater good.
Yeah,
it all makes sense.
They
want to transport our data.
it don't even kind of click. It don't even kind of. They didn't even try with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ain't even try with that one. They was just like, let's see if they be okay with this.
Yeah. So that sounds sus to me.
And
They want to
like,
end.
You gotta hear them. You gotta hear them out.
I mean, hear them out. That way you can know this stuff is in here. Like, because nobody's talking about, like, when I hear stuff, I hear about women's rights, reproductive access. Every time I hear about Project 2025, it's typically from women talking about reproductive rights. I'm like, I don't care about I'm not about to have a baby. I'm not about to carry a child. I don't care about that. What else is in here? So I actually had to start reading through it myself. They want to end the focus on climate change and green subsidies. So all of y'all that was doing like solar panels and high efficiency, this and that, and getting home credits and all that stuff, no more subsidies and credits for that. They want to end the focus on climate change, period. They want to eliminate energy efficiency standards for appliances. So you know how appliances had to use less electricity with these growing electricity bills? Forget those standards. Forget trying to bring down how much. Forget all that. Forget all that. Burn gas, burn electric.
Nigga, what? The Republicans finna have you at the crib with Hemi powered fucking microwave.
Yes.
You gonna have, and your microwave gonna have the little Hellcat logo on the side.
Yep. 700 horsepower microwave. Why would you want to cripple cybersecurity? I don't know, man. Daryl was in the building. What's up, man? I don't know. Yeah, so it's why, like, some of this stuff, like, this is the ugly. No way he's eliminating those two tax brackets. Listen, find me a straight man with solar panels quick. But I know a lot of people did take, even in Ohio, in the city, they were doing a lot of home improvement credits if you did a lot of green stuff. So if you got solar panels, rain collectors, I mean, there was some like $7,500 tax credits for doing some of these improvements. And I was looking into some of that stuff at one point. I was like, "Ooh!" I mean, even changing your car, you could turn in a clunker. So like all that stuff will be gone because they're trying to eliminate green subsidies and efficiency standards. So there's a whole bunch more in there. Again, it's 922 pages. There's a bunch more things at all different levels of society. There are 140 people attached to this project that work currently or have worked for Trump. And again, he has his own Agenda 47, and it's going to have a lot of overlap because the same people that counsel him, like professionally, are also shaping the conservative agenda in general. So there's going to be a lot of overlap. And when you listen to him, you are listening to the people that are around him because they're informing him. He's not doing a lot of research to study himself. He's like taking meetings with somebody. You tell me some stuff, and he runs with it. That's the kind of dude he is. He also seems like let me see. 4 hours. Let me see. There's more to it. Yeah. There's a lot more to it. I mean, again, it's 922 pages. I'm about, I'm not doing it.
I just want to know. He said
again,
the
language, but that language was taken, copied and pasted from the agenda. I mean, from the thing. So I mean, it's not that it's not there. Of course, there's more to it. There's more to everything that I've said about Project 2025 because I'm not reading 922 pages on stream.
Right, I'm just thinking. I can understand there's more to it, but at the same time, like, what level of power do we need from our home appliances, nigga? Like, what level of power do we need? First of all, most people shit work fine. If it don't work fine, you probably go buy some shit that works how you like it.
Yeah.
Like, your stove being stronger don't mean your ass gonna know how to cook better.
Yeah, but it's more on the it's not really they're not really actually about to put like diesel generators on our refrigerators, but it's more about relaxing the standard. They're not, because it wouldn't be cost effective. But what it is their cost effectiveness. A lot of the things that they're doing to make these things quieter, safer, use less electricity, less gas, all of those standards, it costs the companies money. Like, it costs them money to make a better pipe fitter, or it makes them to use less Freon in the AC. Like, it costs them money of innovation and research and development and better equipment, better materials. It costs them money to do all that. So these companies have lobbied the government, and they don't want to have to keep these standards up. Because again, like we talk about with the dating, having higher standards requires more. So it requires more of these companies to have a higher standard for the things that they're outputting. So they don't want to have to keep outputting everything at the same quality.
So if the Republicans win, my refrigerator gonna sound like a Chevy with a big block in it. Then you know how the motherfucker pull it up, and then motherfucker sound like the bottom finna fall out. Oh, man, how the fuck are we supposed to sleep like that? See, that's why I don't vote. That's why I ain't voting.
Yeah, I mean, it costs consumers money because we got to buy it, but it costs them money to make it. So, like, I'm not sure, Greg. Every time I say something, you like to do this thing where you shortcut to the next thing. But, like, what I'm saying is true. Like, it does cost the company more money because they have to produce the thing. It costs them more money to make if they're using, like, so that's true.
Everything costs money.
Yeah. It costs the consumer money too. But they pass off the cost to the consumer. Like, that's the nature of business. Like, that's, I think we have that part figured out. I think we got that part figured out.
Yeah. Like, that's just a thing.
Mm-hmm. Greg did send me something. Your boy, Trump, does seem to have some huge voice in his head. Huge. He has this voice in his head that he can't quiet. And he's very insecure about sizes. I'm not sure. But I want y'all to hear what this dude said.
The people of January 6th were treated very unfairly. And they were there to complain, not through me. They were there to complain about an election. And, you know, it's very interesting. The biggest crowd I've ever spoken to, and I said peacefully and patriotically, which nobody wants to say, but I said peacefully and patriotically. The biggest crowd I've ever spoken to, and you've seen, Maggie, I was at the mall. I was at the Washington Monument. I was at the whole thing. I had crowds. I don't know who's ever had a bigger crowd than I have, but I had it many times. The biggest crowd I've ever spoken before was that day. And I'll tell you, it's very hard to find a picture of that crowd. You see the picture of a small number of people relatively going to the Capitol, but you never see the picture of the crowd. The biggest crowd I've ever spoken. I've spoken to the biggest crowds. Nobody's spoken to crowds bigger than me. If you look at Martin Luther King, when he did his speech, his great speech, and you look at ours, same real estate, same everything, same number of people. If not, we had more. And they said he had 1 million people, but I had 25,000 people. But when you look at the exact same picture, and everything's the same because it was the fountains, the whole thing, all the way back to from Lincoln to Washington, and you look at it, and you look at the picture of his crowd, my crowd, we actually had more people.
No, nothing wrong here.
This dude had more people than Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech now. He had bigger crowds than Obama's inauguration. He's had bigger crowds than Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. Like, this dude, I don't know what is up with him. He is so obsessed with that. It is so crazy. Hold on. I got to pull this thing up. Hold up. Because I want to talk about one other thing. Because this was stupid, too. Share. Stop screen. Presents. There we go. Nope. All right, share that. All right, this fool. And some of y'all want to vote for it. Now, I'm not sure why he would go there. It was stupid. It was silly. It was unnecessary. It just didn't make any sense. But this clown. Now, he just got shot at. A guy literally, really, in real life. Not a video game, not some situation he's making up in his head. Just shot at him. He hears the bullet whiz by his ear. We still don't know yet if the bullet hit his ear or it was shrapnel. I don't even care. Not even important. This part right here, though. His Secret Service is trying to whisk him off because somebody on the roof just tried to shoot at him. He stops to pose and pump his fist, putting himself and everybody on the team in danger because he has to get a photo op. He's got to send a message to the people. he's going to stick his head out and stick his arm up to indicate this is me. Hey, shoot at me. Because again, at the time, we didn't know that there was one guy on the roof. What if there was another shooter somewhere? This guy sticks his head out like a complete simpleton to target himself again. Had there been a coordinated attack, a coordinated assassination, had there been a redundancy, had there been two people shooting at him, he's dead because he's stupid. This guy's dumb. And it could have cost him his life. Yeah, but why being badass is being dumb a lot of times. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take my dirt bike and I'm gonna jump across the Grand Canyon. Yeah, it's badass, but it's dumb. It's unnecessary. Risking your life is badass, but it's also dumbass.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't reward that.
Yeah.
The delusion of grandeur. Yeah, badass and dumbass are very similar. A lot of times. It's unfortunate. But this is the dude that people want to let. So I'm a redneck. We love that shit. Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know. When you were back there trying to separate libertarians from rednecks and the other the racists, oh, we know you're there. We know y'all love that shit. That's why he did it, because he knows y'all love that shit. Y'all love that John Wayne cowboy stuff every single time. Yeah, it's a good old boy. But listen,
Gets him every time.
Gets him every time. Hits y'all right in the fields. Yeah, stick it to the man. Yeah. Yeah, but hold up. I want to show y'all how y'all treat y'all's own. And the second was at 135. Boom. All right. But dude, he's not fit to lead. I mean, I like, yeah, I know. A lot of y'all love it. A lot of black people love it. It's a lot of bravado. It's a lot of machismo. But it's still stupid. It's still dumb. It's still stupid. It's still risky. He could have got everybody up this shot. Gave them more opportunities to shoot him and his team. It's dumb as hell. It's reckless. It's immature. It's irresponsible. He's not fit to lead. He's not fit to follow. He's not fit to spectate. He's not fit to commentate. If you want to vote for him, I really want for it to be because you make $250,000 a year in revenue on your business, or you make $150,000 plus of personal like employment income. Because if you don't, you want to vote for him and you're not one of those, and you're not an accelerationist, you're not somebody that just wants to watch the world burn, I gotta call you an idiot. You're an idiot. I'm sorry. I have to say it. I'm tired of dealing with idiots. There's a lot of idiots out here. A lot of idiots out here. So if you're not rich, if you're not racist, and if you're not the Joker and want to watch the world burn, you're probably an idiot. Man. But I want to show y'all another idiot. Because they turned on it. They turned on your boy. Yeah, because again, there's Greg, people are very predictable. The same way Kamala trotting out Quavo and Megan Thee Stallion work for, people are very predictable. You just got to be provocative. You got to get the people going. People love emotionally compelling content. It is what it is. We are who we are.
That he posted on Twitter.
Hi, I'm Kyle Rittenhouse, Outreach Director for Texas Gun Rights. A lot of people are upset that I said I'm going to be writing in Ron Paul for President of the United States. And that is true. I will be writing in Ron Paul. Unfortunately, Donald Trump had bad advisors making him bad on the Second Amendment, and that is my issue. If you cannot be completely uncompromisable on the Second Amendment, I will not vote for you, and I will write somebody else in. We need champions for the Second Amendment, or our rights will be eaten away and eroded each day. I support my decision, and I have no takebacks.
Remember that. I support my decision, and I have no takebacks.
I support my decision, and I have no takebacks.
So that's Kyle Rittenhouse. Y'all know him from going from Kenosha, Wisconsin, across state lines with the gun his mother bought for him, going to the protests, trying to help out some people, getting accosted by some leftists. He had to shoot 3 of them. You know him. You know that guy. Because he just had to have a gun at a protest when he was there to help people. But
He said no take backsies.
yeah, no take backsies. He's standing on business. He's standing on business. Yeah, Trump, I guess didn't come out strong enough for 2A. Kyle wasn't having it, and he said no taking it back. So yeah, of course he got some flack online from Greg's people. I'm a redneck. We love that shit. Yeah. Whoa.
He said this, "Oh, well, Kyle, I regret to inform you that I will no longer be one of your guests on September 12th at Texas GR event. I reckon you can write in someone else. This was not the way, bud. This was not the way, bud." Chad Prather. And then there's random right-wing weirdos and conspiracy accounts. It's accusing him of being trans, accusing him of being a child crisis actor when Sandy Hook took place like 20 years ago or so now. I mean, how long ago was that? Unfollowed and blocked. And then this goofball whining and crying up just the crocodile tears from the Guinness World Records book. After all real Donald Trump did for you, I contributed to your defense when you were arrested, but you are a piece of shit and are dead to me and probably most MAGAs.
Yep.
Possessive MAGAs, of course, gonna misuse the apostrophe. Go fuck yourself. Blocked. Like I said, he lost a bunch of Twitter followers, but it didn't last long because, of course, again, the tractor being pulled, the stepping back into line when you realize that the only way you make any money whatsoever is from MAGA world. He went back on the "I have no takebacks," the bold and defiant claim, "I have no takebacks."
I support my decision and I have no takebacks.
Mm-hmm.
He tweeted this that is now pinned to his Twitter account.
I mean, listen.
Yeah.
All it took was 12 hours. All it took was 12 hours. My guy stood on business.
Lest anyone know that he will never step out of line again. He says, over the past 12 hours, I've had a series of productive conversations with members of Trump's team, and I am confident he will be the strong ally gun owners need to defend our Second Amendment rights. My comments made last night were ill-informed and unproductive. I'm 100% behind Donald Trump and encourage every gun owner to join me in helping send him back to the White House.
I support my decision and I have no takebacks.
No.
This dude caved quick, fast, and in a hurry. One conversation. There's nothing Donald Trump could have done in 12 hours to make him completely reverse course on believing that he was an ally to gun ownership. There's nothing he could have possibly done because he's not in the position to do anything. Nothing he could have done. But in 12 hours, having a couple of conversations, he's 100% swayed, wants to put this man back in the White House. That's what I'm talking about when I talk like the principles versus power. Somebody said something to him. It's costing him money. Mm-hmm. It's costing him attention. Like I can't. For me, I don't like that kind of character because you're able to be bought. You're able to be pressured. I can't trust you when it comes to things that matter to me because you'll cave if somebody has a better offer. You won't say, "Well, I made an agreement or a commitment here. I'm gonna stand on that." Even if it costs me something, even if it costs me an opportunity, I'm going to stand on the commitment I made to you. These people ain't about that. It would be nice to know why and why he came out why he stood so strong on that. Because he stood so strong on it makes it sound like he knew something. But unfortunately, what I found is a lot of people take strong stances on nothing. Nothing more than a rumor, nothing more than a report, and nothing near reality. Nothing near reality. He said, you agree with what Rittenhouse did. I don't agree with the glorification of it. I don't agree with either, but again, that's a whole nother conversation. Like, there's no reason to go from a whole nother state. There's no mental justification for me to leave my home and go to another state to a protest armed. There's no reason for that. Like, if I want to help, why am I going to? But anyway, he shouldn't be in jail, but he shouldn't be famous either. Yeah. But he couldn't even hold his stance for a full day because money is more important than anything. Money over everything. The dude that forgot. This dude forgot that hate and ignorance and tribalism is the only reason they supported him in the first place. He shot lefties. They were happy. I remember they claimed one of them. I didn't look into it. I know they claimed one was a pedo. Didn't look into it. Didn't verify nothing. But I don't take everybody's claim seriously. Let me see. Give me a second. Last video I'm gonna pull up. This is from I like sports. So oh, Snacks is live. Okay. Yeah, he got threatened. Yeah, I mean, but once the stuff pops off, you can't help but to react to it. I mean, once the stuff pops off, you got to respond to it. But he didn't need to be there. But I also didn't think the protests were the right movement. But then that's several other conversations. Let me leave that alone. I'm not a big protest person. Not at this day and age. All right, let's see. Now, this is my guy, Colin Cowherd. He's sports, but he's been delving into politics. But I did like some of the stuff that this dude compiled of his and put together. I'm going to play these.
Well, I have to talk about Trump. I've said this about Trump before. He's trying to sell me an America that doesn't exist. I've been kind of poor, middle class. Now I'm better off than most. But he's trying to sell me this America stinks, and I just don't see it. I'm constantly being sold in America by Donald Trump. Crime rates are skyrocketing. No, they're actually not.
He posted this video to his Colin Cowherd podcast YouTube page on May 30th. He'd continue.
It would be like watching your football team and they play well and win, and your neighbor says they're playing terribly and keep losing. No, they're winning and they're not playing terribly. Like, you can't keep selling me on how bad the country I live in is, because it's not bad for me or my friends. If you don't have policies that I connect with, and you're always grouching and about the other side, I'm not really interested in you.
Which is a far cry from this.
And Donald Trump.
Yeah, he used to be more into Trump, but Trump would also come into a show too. But
about that big bill on Capitol Hill. That's why I don't talk politics on my show. So zip it.
Thus,
Trump once tried to sell a vodka and acknowledges he never drank ever. He's never really drank alcohol, but he tried to sell a vodka. So I've thought for a long time he's just kind of a con artist.
He'd go head first in it.
If everybody in your social circle is a felon, I don't think it's rigged. I don't think the world's against you. And to get people to agree on anything, 34 counts, 0 for 34. I mean, that's a batting slump even the New York Mets could be impressed with. 0 for 34. So, it's just when you're constantly trying to sell me on an America that I don't see. Trump's entire game plan is the country is in a free fall. Maybe in the Trump-centric neighborhoods it is. Let's say I got busted for some really bad crime in court, a drug crime. And my wife did too, in a separate case. And then so did one of my kids, my manager, my agent, and my attorney. It would be reasonable to conclude that I'm shady and involved in a business that's not terribly legal. Well, Donald Trump is now a felon. His campaign chairman was a felon. So is his deputy campaign manager, his personal lawyer, his chief strategist, his national security advisor, his trade advisor, his foreign policy advisor, his campaign fixer, and his company CFO. They're all felons, judged by the company you keep. It's a cabal of convicts.
On his.
Let me see, 553.
Look at the stark difference of what Tim Walz just did at a rally going.
Now, this guy's going to contrast like the behavior, like I did with the fatherhood thing. Dude's talking about, family values, J.D. Vance. But J.D. Vance, when it was his own son, like, shut the hell up, son. This is the most important call of my life. Like, that kind of temperament from a family values person. What's the point of family if you don't have love? It's just reproduction. That's kind of weird to me. It's kind of mechanical. And I showed GG, Healthy Gamer, Dr. K, who, like, when he was interrupted in a business thing, he was very loving and appreciative and gave him a little bit of time. Okay, thanks. Okay, see you later. Love you. All right. This guy's going to point out a very similar kind of temperament
going on right now when somebody was
Trump.
starting to get woozy because they were hot.
Thank you all. We're okay. We have someone down.
That's Tim Walz.
They're treating him. They're getting him some water, and it's
Kamala
good.
Harris.
He's going to get up. You guys need some water too? We'll ask them. Teddy, can you see if they have some more water? That'd be great. Take care of your neighbors. This idea of caring for our neighbor and kindness and a hand up when somebody needs it, or just the sense of that people go through things and to be able to be there when they need it, that's who we are. It's not about mocking. It's not name callings. And you see it amongst them.
And compare that to the Donald Trump said at his rally.
By the way, isn't that breeze nice? You feel the breeze? Because I don't want anybody going on me. We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care.
There's just a few things I'll add to this.
I don't care about you. I just want your vote. Now, again, he's always joking. He's unserious. Don't take him serious. Don't take him little. I don't know how much stuff I'm supposed to just ignore. If he's that funny, if he's that big of a comedian, he's going for the wrong job. It kills me that everybody's like, none of this stuff is serious. I could shoot a guy on Fifth Avenue. Everybody would still vote for me, and they would. This stuff to me is more serious than I see it is to a lot of people. What people say, it does matter. You do have to align it with what they do. I agree. But what they do, everything's obviously a joke, Greg. Everything's obviously a joke. It's always a joke. It's always a joke. But when the jokes always go one way, Greg, when the jokes always go one way, when they're always somebody's life doesn't matter, it's not a joke anymore. Eventually, if I keep joking that I'm going to slap you, eventually it's a threat. That's just human nature. Because the same joke all the time is not really a joke, it's a message. And that's what I can't ignore. My understanding of how humans behave. Somebody always makes the same jokes, it's not really a joke. It's speaking to something that's going on in their mind. The same joke all the time? No. You can't convince me of that. So again, the Heritage Foundation, the whole Project 2025 thing, I'm not really scared by that. That's been going on since Reagan. That's been a big thing that they keep trying to put on him. But he's not really that bright. Like, he's a bullet point guy. He reads the bullet points. He rips a lot. But he's not. A lot of joking. A lot of jokes. A lot of jokes. But Reagan also said things that were serious. I lived at the time, and I actually got to see him on the television. I got to see him do addresses. He would get very serious. He could be reassuring. He could play to another thought or feeling other than jokes. Reagan actually has some depth to him, and it might have been his background as an actor. He could portray different ranges of emotion. Everything wasn't a joke to him. He could joke. That's what I was talking about with Quantum earlier. A person could be funny and a person could be entertaining, but they also need to be able to handle business. And if the only thing you can do is joke, you shouldn't be head of the household. You should not be head of the household. I do think Trump is completely relying on those people in his circle that keep turning out to be felons, that he keeps having to fire. If we asked him something that wasn't a talking point, I don't think he'd be able to find an answer. I think he's completely incompetent. JD Vance, he could find an answer. I think he could study, but I don't think he would tell us what the answer was without us giving him something in return. We got to buy him out. Trump is either a habitual liar, or you can't trust him, or he's always joking and isn't serious enough to lead, or he's a criminal that wants to be a dictator. None of these are okay for me to vote for. If it's okay for you, cool. But none of those are okay for me. I wouldn't even want to work with that person. If you could look at these two people, JD Vance, if you could look at Donald Trump, and you could say that I want these people to represent this country, they're our best and our brightest. They're our face and voice to the world. If you could look at them and listen to them and say, I would be satisfied if the young people in my family emulated these people. If my children, if my nieces and nephews turned out to be like Trump, if they turned out to be like Vance, if you believe that these are those type of quality people, have at it. But I don't think most of us believe that. They have no integrity, they have no intelligence, and they have no interest in serving what the people need. No interest in serving our needs. And if you don't have a business that has, again, revenue of $250,000 or personal income in excess of $150K a year, I have to believe that you're an idiot for supporting this dude. Because you're supporting, you have to be an idiot to support an idiot. You would have to be. How could you not be that unless you're just a joke like he is? You're just another joke, another joke. He's so not serious. It's so funny. Then everything, you got to be a joke to want to elect a joke as the representative of your entire country. I mean, the joke's on us at that point. I agree with that. I'm just saying that is why he is trying to joke around so much. Yeah, it's cool. It's all fun and games. So somebody get hurt. If they keep making the same jokes, they might also just be a woman. I think he is just a populist and only cares about his supporters like him. And that's cool. Again, everybody's got to find their reasoning. This was just my reasoning as to why I could never support him, why I couldn't do it. Because when I see these things, when I hear these things, this is how my mind processes the information. I don't process the fear like Project 2025 is some great big thing. I don't process it like, I'm afraid of that. What I do is listen to what he says and the tone, the tenor, the repetition, how he responds to things. And I try to interpret what he's trying to say. A lot of times the stuff's right there, but everybody says, oh, it's just a joke. You can't take him serious. It's just a joke. I don't want to vote for anybody that I can't take seriously. Or you work blue collar. He greatly benefited the manufacturing sector. Yeah. Again, that's another debate. Everybody's got a long list of things that they did. And most of it isn't stuff that they did. Like, we're going to have to talk about the president, what the president actually does. Most of the stuff that they take credit for, they didn't actually do. And also the stuff they get blamed for isn't stuff they're really responsible for. So, I temper that as well. That's why I didn't really talk about his accomplishments or failures, because I don't believe that the presidential accomplishments or failures, I don't believe that they're on him. Greg, Rashawn just wants to be able to think about what can be unburned by what has been unburdened. Yeah. So again, that's how I think about things. Their supposed accomplishments and failures, they really matter less to me because a lot of that is more legislative or judicial. A lot of stuff we say is them. And the system is so large. The system is so large that you literally can put an idiot at the helm and it won't crash. You can really put a complete moron that doesn't do anything every day. And there's enough other systems in place that it'll self-govern for a while. It'll keep going. Like, even to the point where we keep having these government shutdowns and never shut it down. Like, so it's almost foolproof at this point, but enough fools can bring it to a halt. I just don't think. I'm just saying not every poor person who's supporting Trump is an idiot or a maniac. No, I also included racist. If you're a poor person and you support Trump, you're an idiot or a maniac or a racist. That's at least 75% of his supporters. There's always a fringe element. There's always an outlier. There's always going to be a poor person that benefited from something that happened while it's a 4-year span. Did something good happen to somebody over the course of 4 years? Absolutely. Did something good happen over the course of 4 years when Clinton was in office? Absolutely. Did something? Yes. So that's or racism. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because a lot of the stuff that people will give him credit for, he didn't actually do. And the same thing is going to happen with Kamala. I looked at their list of things that they say they accomplished under the Biden-Harris and stuff. It's not stuff that they actually did. It's not stuff that they actually did. It's stuff that other people did that they get to take credit for because they're the representative. It's because they're at the head. They get to say, we did this. This happened under our administration. Because you, Greg, were the person that was telling me a president isn't really that important. People think a president is way more important than they are. And you're right. Because they don't actually do a lot of the stuff. But they are representative. They get to set an agenda and a tone, which is important, but they're not doing all the things that they say they do. They're not. Yeah. And that's just the way I think. But where you at with it, Yellow, before we get ready to roll out? That was pretty good. You got all that? I wasn't even expecting you to get all that from what I said. That's dope. Wow.
Oh, shit. I was muted. My bad.
Now you good. You good.
No, I agree with what you're saying, man. That's like, don't get me wrong. I'm not voting for either one of these idiots, but I have good reasons as to why.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that since we specifically talking about Trump, Trump's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Trump's an idiot. There's being successful. You can be successful and still be an idiot. We see it's a lot of them. It's too many of them.
Lots of.
And he appeals to the people who don't take people around seriously. Don't take other people seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a certain type of group of people who don't understand when to fucking stop. Like this ain't the time for that shit.
Yeah.
And those are the people he appealed to.
Mm-hmm.
So, I agree with all of that. If you voting for this dude, you got a problem.
Yeah. And see, like this is the point, Rick. Like so, like Middle America, wielders, blue collar people. This is why I'll say stupid. This is why I say they're idiots too, because the Republican Party is the party of right to work, which is undermining the unions that protected wages and benefits for the blue collar class. Democrats have been trying to keep unions together, keep unions stable and strong for a while. Republicans have been undercutting the unions, the plumbers and pipe fitters, the guilds, the unions, the manufacturing unions. So like a lot of the unions, except for the police union, the Democrats have been supporting them while the Republicans have been taking it down. So as far as wages and benefits for a lot of these people in the blue collar sector, they would be better off with Democrats because the Republicans are trying to take their power and their bargaining power away while also shipping a lot of the labor and jobs to other countries. So that's why I say idiotic, because they don't even recognize the thing that you say their self-interest. They benefited under Trump. They would have benefited more under the Democrats because I've been in the union and dealing with the union for a really long time. The Democrats are trying to protect that. But the unions are not another conversation entirely. These wielders are in unions, so their jobs are part of the union. Like that's what protect. Like the whole GM, like GM being shut down and shutting down plants. A lot of that stuff is because they're saying they can't afford the price of the wages from union people. We get put out of business, but these same companies have record profits. This is all a part of the same conversation. If we're talking about a welder, that's a job. And if it's a job that's a part of a union, it's not another conversation. It's a part of this conversation. The very reason that these people are shipping these jobs overseas is because of the money, and that money is tied into the union. But like it's hard to grasp all of the pieces in totality, but they're all influencing each other. And that's an important conversation because not being able to take all these pieces together allows idiots to think that the jobs are better under Republicans when the Republicans are undermining your jobs and trying to ship them overseas because they can get higher profits by paying other people less and by undercutting your unions. Like that's why when I say idiots, that's what I mean. I mean that's specifically. I don't mean uneducated. I just mean their thought process is limited. I don't mean uneducated. I mean they're just not thinking deeply because that's a function of our society. Our society makes idiots. Our society makes us short-sighted. Our society makes us have short memories. We're leaving capacity behind to retain, to critically think. So I know you wanted to defend the idiots, but there's idiots on both sides because the Democrats are doing the same thing. We're giving up things to the Democrats that we shouldn't because we're short-sighted and narrow-minded, and they can sell us on things that we shouldn't be sold on because we're idiots. So idiots, racists, and crazy people. And tomorrow we're going to talk about the idiots, racists, and crazy people on the left because that's what we're doing. Unions, obviously, Greg, you keep saying the obvious thing. Obviously, unions are not the only thing that affect wages because I said they're trying to undercut unions. So if there's no union, then how are these people having wages? Obviously, you're saying obviously. But that's what I'm saying. It's too much to get into the chat. It's a whole conversation, but it's not another conversation.
But let's also not bullshit ourselves and not understand that the unions are the closest connection to whoever's funding them and the workers. So they might not be the only thing that affects wages, but they are the people that affects the wages because whatever happens is going through them. They're the ones who's touching it before the employees touch it, before the welders touch it.
Collective bargaining. Yeah, but there's no one thing. There's no one thing to any of this. Like, that's why I put up so many examples of Trump. I put up so many examples of Trump because there's no one thing. You take any one thing he says, it can be dismissed as a joke. Is this a joke? He's not serious. But after you have a trail of jokes and not serious that always land on one side, I can't. It's a pattern. And see, what I do is recognize patterns. Yeah, nobody said that. Yeah, nobody said that. Yeah, nobody said that. But, I mean, but that's the thing. It allows the way we live our lives. The way we live our lives allows us to become short-sighted, allows us to become narrow-minded about the topics, so we get exploited by the very people that we think are helping us. So, like, this whole thing about black women and black men for Kamala is crazy because we got short-sighted, narrow-minded, and we can't see past our skin color, which is hilarious to me. But it is what it is. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. And then now Greg's going to have a talk. Greg's going to have a conversation with me sometime after the 13th, which is tomorrow. Nova Rain is going to have a conversation with me soon too, but that's going to be before the 26th. But after today, before the 26th, we got to get a date. We got to get Rico in here because I think Greg wanted Rico or Nova. I think it was Greg. Greg wanted Rico to get in on his chat. Oh, that's not true. You're reneging. Are you a renigger? Are you a renigger? Nova? Are you a renigger? I think you're a renigger. So those are the two conversations I know I'm going to have after tomorrow. And I think that IG was supposed to do one with me before, but he had to change his schedule around. So we might try to get that back in there. But those are the three conversations I still might be having this month. But that's about it. Otherwise, I'm getting ready to get out of here. I am going to play the moment that Kamala turned black as our exit. How about that? I'm down with Nova. Yeah, collective bark. Yeah. Nova probably has like one good stream in him. He's really shy. Yeah, he's really shy. He said he speaks like he speaks like Joe Biden at that last debate. So he's really nervous. Like really long circles that don't connect. You're reading me as way more combative than I'm being. You keep reading me as reading you. Yeah, I think your mistake is reading me reading you.
You're reading me way more combative.
Yeah. But I think we'll get out of here on Kamala going black. Y'all enjoyed it. Hopefully, I'll see y'all tomorrow for the Kamala piece. I'm not going to talk about Tim Walz. I didn't do any research on Tim. I really don't even care about Tim. He's the kind of politician I could vote for Tim, but he's under Kamala, which is problematic for reasons I'll talk about tomorrow. But
on the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, it was a rough and tumble day for certain. It's an instant Saiyan punching bag. Now that's gotta hurt.
Child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
Up goes the weasel. I won't let you get away with this!
you. I am the hope of the universe. I am the answer to all living things that cry out for peace. Man, this shit sounds soft as hell. What the f*** I look like reading some bitch ass shit? I got a Dragon Ball chain, nigga. What the f***? So much time is embezzled in that bitch. It's worth more than your whole shit with your ugly ass. What? Did I stutter, hoe ass nigga? I am the light in the darkness, cause my chain be glistening. Get a good look, bitch, spare me. Niggas think I'm fighting to save the day, but really, nigga, I just like to fight. What? I don't care about none of that shit. Please, just let me go. Hell out of good. Nightmare to them ops, ho.
Can Kombucha, Zendaya, Kamala become the next president of the United States and the first woman president? Can Donald Trump, the 34-time felon, recover in time to regain his once held presidency? Find out all this and more on the very next episode of the U.S. Presidency.